Okay, we should be live.
Says you're live. You are live.
I get rid of the emojis yet.
It's a pain. You got to do that every time.
I know. Big time pain.
I was sleeping good last night. My son left and he came back. I didn't even hear him come back.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's very seldom that happens. I've been on the dog so much about when he comes through the door at night barking as loud as they do. They didn't even bark. Jody, what's up, Jody?
Jody's here. Here comes
Frank said he's going
Lance.
to call you sometime today.
Morning, Lance.
Lance. Lance from the cabin in the woods.
I just came back
Lance.
from flying a ship.
Oh, yeah.
I'm watching your video, Joe. Like this one.
What you want?
I'm back
Which one?
from the cabin.
Hey, Frank, I appreciate it. But I went to the link that you put on there and I figured it out how to switch the toggles. So I think I've got it right now. So
Which video, Lance?
Your latest one that you fly over the little pond or actually river swamp. You just posted it.
Yeah, okay, that's the one that went this morning, yeah. The one yesterday is the one where I came out of that same little bayou, and as I turn on the Chafuncta River, I get a high wind warning. And as I'm turning around, the sucker starts going, pushing it all the way to the right, and I'm saying, stop, stop, and it won't. I can't get it to turn because it's pushing it. You know, the wind was really pushing it. And I'm watching, and if I just left it alone, I would have went between the trees. The wall, look at it. But I tried to guide it a little bit, and I wound up bouncing off a tree.
Okay, I haven't watched that one yet. I'll have to go back and watch it.
Yeah, I bounced off of it, but I didn't hurt anything. But it could have been bad because they had metal rods up there on the tree that were like braces. And if I would have hit one of those metal rods, it would have went into the propeller area and probably tore up something.
You prepared for the
But
Avata too?
the more I'm looking at the Avata 2 and reading about it, the more I think I would like it. But I'm not buying it right now.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat you are. I think I'll like it, but I'm gonna wait. I'm waiting.
Maybe by the end of the year, I'll think about it. You know.
Yeah, I thought maybe Paul might buy it for us.
no, I don't do FPV, Lance, at all. Have no interest in it and will never do it.
You know, Paul, I did not either, and I thought I'm going to get the Avata. It is my most fun drone.
Yeah, I love the Avata.
But it doesn't do what I personally like, which is photography, very well. But it flies fun.
Well, I
And
As
found
long
that
as you're having fun, it doesn't make a difference what you fly,
Yeah.
just get in the air, right?
and 20 years ago, this would have been an awesome camera.
Yeah, 20 years ago.
Yep.
Mr. Stickley's here.
Even 10, don't you think, Joe? Even 10 years ago, it would have been.
You might, yeah, 10 years ago would be good. But one
Good
thing I
morning,
like
Justin.
about
How you
and it's
doing?
funny.
Good.
You know, one thing I like about the new Avata coming out, and it's not that I want to do it. It's the fact that you could press a button and it'll roll. You know, and it's not that I want to do that. But if it's there and you could press it and it rolls and it's controlling itself, why not? I don't want to go full acro because I don't want to have to be the one to control it. Not that I don't think I could. I don't want to.
Well, Johnny's
Yeah.
always after you to go acro, isn't he?
He's trying to use my drone to go acro. What are you talking about? He says, let me use yours. No. That day he hit that, I'll tell you, that day we were sitting there and I'm his spotter and he's flying, he's coming back and he'd already clipped the tree. He was in a tree and he come out the tree and he's coming through the gate is big enough to drive a car through. And he's coming up and I said, Johnny, you're a little low. You're a little low. You're down the center of that. He said, yeah, I'm good. I said, you look like you're a little bit to the left of it. He says, no, I'm good. And that sucker clipped that gate. And when he clipped that gate, he wasn't down the center. He was on the side. When he clipped that gate, I don't know if he did it or the drone automatically did it, but it shot it straight up to the sky. And it flew about 150 yards away and crashed. Let me take this call.
Oh, the Apple goggles, huh?
Yeah, it looks like Mark Fisher has them.
Oh God, he's got Apple glasses, freaking iMac. Oh, that's cringy in so many ways. Not him, but just those products.
Oh,
Could you
I
guys
get a
hear
call
him?
this early.
Oh, there's no sound if that's what you're
Oh, sorry.
letting us watch it for. Yeah, you probably forgot to check the box.
Yeah, he's editing. He's editing from his glasses. He's saying.
Well, he brought those to South Florida.
Yeah, South Florida. He's there.
And don't worry,
Yes,
Joe. I'll tell Johnny to show you that picture I sent him every time he tries to get you to fly Akron. You don't want to.
I'm not gonna do it. That still won't peer pressure.
He says peer pressure. I'm not doing that.
I don't care. I'll just put on a skirt and say to hell with y'all.
Oh my God.
Won't be the first time I put on a skirt.
Mr. Skyfly, good morning to you too.
Yeah, but Lance, when he hit that thing shot up in the air about 100 feet,
Good morning,
went
Dan.
sideways, and then went straight down into the ground. Battery went one way, the drone went the other way. Johnny jumped up. He said, I hit it. I said, yeah, you hit it. Damn. Yeah. He said, where's it at? I said, way over there. He said, how in the hell did it get way over there? I said, that's where it's at. He got over there and said, well, where's the battery? I said, I saw things flying. I don't know. He had to go look for the battery and found it. And he had a thing on there to hold the battery in. And it knocked the battery out. He's got a different one. He's got the thing that clips on the back. I've got the one that's screwed to the divider that comes down and holds it in place.
Yeah, there's nothing worse than, I don't care what you're flying if the battery pops out. Because you remember, it wasn't that long ago, some of the Mavics, when the battery swelled, you could be flying and all of a sudden, poop.
Drone shop owner arrested for flights during Baltimore Bridge TFR. What? Somebody sent me a link.
Show that.
See, now that's
Well, let me see.
completely different than what Pollen Institute had. It said the owner was arrested because he had 39 flights in trying to drop stuff off in prisons.
Oh, okay. See, I was reading the title, and it was shortened up because it was so long, and the way it was shortened up, it made it look like that's what it was. When I clicked on it, yeah, he's talking about 3 different stories.
Yeah,
or 3 different subjects. Okay.
Who was the pilot? Does it say?
Yeah, remember I showed him the other day, the one that got arrested and was wearing the DJI shirt, and he was getting arrested outside of his shop. They found a bunch of
we
ecstasy.
needed that.
They found a bunch of ecstasy and drugs and shit in his shop too.
Ah,
He'll lose his 107. Joke.
Oh, he's gonna do federal time for sure.
He's going to be federally charged.
Yeah, you're
Oh,
talking
yeah,
about prisons and drug and
for
large
the
amounts of
drugs, you
drugs.
bet.
Yeah, that's federal
And
time.
And they were talking about the Baltimore. If you fly your drone in Baltimore right now, it will be a federal crime. So
Good.
you'll be charged federally for that.
Bring some of these clowns down.
Well, that makes sense because it's FAA, they're federal. So
You see, my big question is this. This is one of the reasons I haven't done it yet. And this was on File Institute one day, and it's what my
what's up,
question is.
Jody, Laura, Brian,
Infrastructure.
Dan,
Infrastructure is a
Dusty.
wide open word because it's very liberal how they look at that, because technically if it's not on the federal infrastructure list, it's not infrastructure. But is it infrastructure?
Well, I mean, screwing with electrical lines and gas lines and stuff is considered infrastructure.
Well, I know, I do agree.
Even communication
But
lines is. But they'll just label it as infrastructure if they think that if they want to keep people out of there. They'll just say it is.
So Joe, you need to fly low right through here, like just above the grass.
I did right after at the end of it, I did.
Okay,
So-
I'll watch it.
What's your point of that though, Joe? Like, what do you mean? Like,
Because this is my point. If I go to the Huey Long Bridge
uh-huh.
and I fly over the bridge, is that considered infrastructure?
I would think so because it's part of the road system in a way. If it's a public bridge, yeah. As they could
Because it
say it's
also has,
vital to waterway, or they could say it's vital to the shipping routes in order to go over that bridge or something.
but
I
it's
don't know.
not on the federal infrastructure list. Just like the bridges
I don't
in
know.
Natchez in Natchez, Mississippi. I flew over the bridges and I flew between the bridges. Over there is over the Mississippi River.
Yeah, I don't know.
See, that's a fine line, because the other thing about the Huey Long Bridge, it's also a train trestle. And you can fly over train tracks, but you can't fly over train tracks with trains on it.
Which I think is,
Train is moving.
dude, I'm sorry.
Train
I
is
think
moving.
that's
Yeah,
so
if a train's
fucking,
moving.
I still think that's so fucking stupid. I don't give a shit if
So
it's
that's
an
what,
agro drone, one of those big ass 200-pound
Yeah.
drones. It ain't gonna do shit to that fucking train if it hits it.
yeah.
I mean,
So that's
might
my
chip
question.
the paint. Yeah, it
Now,
might chip
am
the
I
paint
gonna
on the side.
am I gonna fly over the Huey Long Bridge one day? You know, when I have a chance to get down there, I will probably go do it. But I will be very cautious on how I do it, you know. It's just that it's a bridge like Paul's. It's high. It's in the 400-foot range. I think it's 289 to the bottom, and that's at the highest point. It's 289. I think maybe 300 at the highest point. But I definitely want to fly at least on an angle to it, especially hopefully with the train coming over. But I won't be flying over the bridge directly. But I will probably do an orbit. And then I've got to be careful, because on the other side of the river, is maybe a quarter mile on the other side of the river, there is a prison. So
Oh,
I gotta
yeah, that's
make
a no
make
fly
sure.
too.
Yeah, so I got to make sure, and it's also class B airspace
Well, it depends on
on
how
this side
far
of the river.
does the geo zone extend out from that
Yeah,
prison.
that's what well, I've checked it. It's
Uh-huh.
all right there, so I should not have an issue. I've
It's
done
like-
a lot of research on it.
It's
But
like
where I'm
it-
taking off at, is class B. But once I get out 10 feet ahead of me, it's class G. So I will get the link for the takeoff in that area, just in case I come back in that area, because I can get 400 feet right there. But I want to get over the bridge, and the bridge, I think the top point in the bridge is 460. And I'm gonna go above, since it's G, I can go up to 860 if I want, but I'm not. I'll probably go up to about 600 to get around it. And
What,
there's never any aircraft right there, never.
I'm assuming the geo zone starts right at the fence at the prison, or right before it.
It's pretty close to it, because I'd have to be on the other side of the riverbank. If I go to the other side of the riverbank from where I'll be flying from, it'd be almost 3 miles. So I'm not dealing. I don't think I'll have to deal with
Right.
that. But it's going to be just to where I'm taking off at. I'm going to take off close to the bridge, so I don't have to go as far as so they got a couple places I could park at and fly right there. It's going to depend on what time of day, the sun, where I park. But even to get out to the middle of the river and get to the middle of the bridge, it's going to be right at a mile. So it's going to be a Mavic 3 with a brand new battery in it, a full battery.
What's up, everybody in the chat? How's it going? Oh, fuck, I was gonna ask you something. How do you know for a fact that bridge isn't on the infrastructure list?
Haven't found it.
And now, is there anything on that list that just says covers all bridges or no?
No,
Like, is
that's
there language in there somewhere that says that?
Craig on Pilot Institute said it specifically has to be on a list.
Well, I mean, if you've looked on the
On the
list
list.
and it ain't there, then if anything,
Yeah, I
you
can
have
see
that.
it.
If anything, what you should do is print that list out and have it with you. That way, if
Yeah,
somebody
I've thought
does,
about that, but I think it's like 40 pages long.
yeah, but to cover your own ass, so that's worth it. Plus, you can have the list there all the time that you can reference, unless it changes all the time. I don't know. Or download a PDF on your phone. Have it on your
Well, that
phone.
work.
That way you can at least pull it up, if you get stopped and you'd be like, here's the national bridge list. It's not there. That way, if they try to say something,
Yeah, I don't even remember where I found it. I found it one time. I
Would
went
it
to
be under
save
the
it and didn't save it.
National Transportation Agency? Would it be under that? Or was it
Maybe.
the NTBS? They're the ones that probably have that list.
NTASB.
Yeah, NTSB, because they're the ones that deal with like any kind of bridge collapses, major. Like they're the ones that have to investigate. They
Well, the
don't
hard
just do
part of it is
plain
that
stuff.
there's so many different federal agencies that all their jurisdictions kind of like get
Yeah.
blurred, you know?
Well, it depends. Like, so if it's like when that bridge collapsed, right? You might have the NTSB there to investigate the collapse, but if they think it's a criminal thing, then like the FBI or somebody will get involved too. But they'll be doing their own parallel investigations, but they're only investigating what
Yeah, but
they're
see, also
what's
that
part of it.
bridge collapse was also under the purview of the Federal Traffic Safety Division because of the car traffic. I mean, it's like there's got to be like 6 or 8 investigators from different areas down there.
Oh, right. What I'm saying, all the NTSB is going to do is why did the bridge collapse and what can we do to prevent it? They don't really give a shit if it's a criminal. Like if the pilot of the boat was drunk, the captain,
Yeah.
that falls on whatever law enforcement agency is doing the investigation on that end of it. The NTSB won't worry about that because that's not theirs. The FBI or whoever's involved in that will be the ones to investigate that and then charge the pilot or whatever, or the boat captain. The same way when they do a plane crash. I mean, I watch that Air Disasters channel on YouTube that does all the videos, and that's always how they do it. The NTSB, if they think the pilot was drunk, they don't investigate that or anything. They just investigate why the plane crashed and how to prevent it.
Be right back.
And then whoever's usually the FBI or whatever, they'll do the criminal investigation parallel to them. mean, it's hard to say. I mean, there's got to be an agency out there that's got that list somewhere on one of their websites. I would think the NTSB would probably be one of them. I don't know. Actually, I'd ask Dre. He probably would know.
Yeah, Dre would know, I would think.
I mean, he deals with city infrastructure and stuff. He probably would have an idea where to find that list at, like the right, that official
Yeah,
list.
which department and where it would be. Yep.
Yeah, the actual.
Dre would be my call.
Yeah, where to find the actual official list for that. He'd probably be able to tell him. Because I'm sure Dre doing city infrastructure probably has had to deal with that list at some point.
Oh, definitely. Or in some of his meetings, maybe he's run into that, you know?
Yeah.
I'm just pitching some peanuts. Be right back.
Because I'd want to find whatever agency actually has the actual real list that way. You know, because you can find it on some random website, but that don't mean it's correct. You know. But if you get it directly from the source, then you know for sure. Still at your cabin, Lance?
No, I'm home now. Came home yesterday.
I'm sure they'll figure that out, Mike. Yeah, company's in a world of hurt, all that damage. What's up, Daryl? I don't know, Daryl, have you ever had to have that list on you or anything? I mean, you're flying all over the country. I don't know if that really pertains to you, but
Yeah, Night Train, you're 100% correct. You know, that ship should not have been on going on the highway or on the waterways because of its previous problems. It had, you know, it was reported by crew members that while it was even docked and loading or unloading, it had lost power several times. So there's a lot of questions there. And that's the other thing too that came to my mind was why don't they build a big ass tunnel across there?
that'd probably cost more than building another bridge. Honest with you, I don't know.
It might, but I would think that in the long run, this is my guess, is that the maintenance on a tunnel is less than a maintenance on a bridge continual.
Well, I mean, and there's other factors you got to come in. Is the type of soil that they're on top of and all that, can it handle that kind of, you know, infrastructure? There's other stuff you got to think about too before you do that. I think that honestly, I just think because that bridge was from the 70s, I don't think it had the right safety stuff built into it that it should have. That a modern
Daryl,
bridge
we're talking about in a nutshell. Started out talking about who has authority over what areas to fly, And now it's descended into, the bridge mishap in Baltimore, so.
And we were talking about the national infrastructure list, like so you can know which bridges and that's why I
Yeah,
asked
I'm
a
not
few.
finding it.
That's what I'm saying. What I would do is message Dre and ask Dre. He does city infrastructure and stuff. He might know.
Yeah,
be
he'll
able
be
to
on in a
point.
minute.
He might be able to
He
point
should
you
be
in the right
coming on.
direction.
Joel, East Coast, Daryl, and his other brother Daryl, Night Train, Brother Ken.
Yeah, and East Coast is correct. It might have to do with they have to have at least a minimal bridge, because if they transport hazardous chemicals, a lot of the tunnels won't let you do that.
Well, and let's face it too. I mean, like I said, if you just look at the shipping container ships over the last 30 years and how they've doubled and tripled in size, I don't think the bridges that were built in the 60s and 70s had that in mind. The ships were a lot smaller than, these ships that are coming out now, these shipping container ships are getting fucking huge.
Yeah.
I mean, they're getting aircraft carrier sizes and shit now. Like they're getting really, really big. And I don't think, and a lot of times we know there's so many bridges in the US, the government doesn't always spend money to keep them up to date. They might do inspections on them, but they don't add shit to them sometimes, And that's the thing. That's why I said that maybe the safety features that were built into that bridge weren't big enough to deal with a ship that size. I'm just guessing. I mean, I could be wrong, but I said if you go look up shipping containers or the ships that do the shipping containers, if you look those up, man, they've doubled and tripled in size in just the last 20 years.
Big time. Yep. Most
Especially China. China has made some massive ass shipping container ships because of the amount of containers they move back and forth. FAA
What would be
visualize in map shows critical infrastructure. If not on the map, it's not
which one?
actually legal. Considered critical infrastructure. There's not a list.
Yeah, 'cause I don't see a list.
Okay, he's putting in for this app, and apparently it will tell you. But he's saying there's not actually a list.
Shh.
Oh, okay. It's the FAA USA data on map. Some kind of map.
Is that an app?
It says app in his link there, but it takes you to an actual website.
Yeah, well, got that on goes. Okay. Because I'm on NTSB and I can't find nothing there.
Yeah, so if you click on that link, it takes you to a site. And then Daryl said there's a site, it's interactive, just have to scroll into the structure where you're wanting to know about.
Okay, I'm scrolled into the thing. Will it say it on there if it is?
I think he said it does.
'Cause I'm looking at the bridge and there's nothing saying it is.
I think you posted the same exact thing he did. Yeah, you did, Mike. You
Yeah.
posted the same thing Daryl did.
Yeah, I mean, actually, the airspace is extended out. It's still 400-foot airspace, so I can't go higher than 400 there.
Okay, so he's saying if it's not on that map, it's not legally considered infrastructure. So,
Okay, by on that map, what does it mean?
listed.
Because it's a highway.
oh, Daryl, you
That
need to
goes
come up
to-
there. If you got a minute, you need to come on the panel so you can talk Joe through that. I don't know.
Yeah, because I'm in class, I think it's B airspace. And it says 400 where the bridge is at. The whole road is on the bridge, on the map. So is the whole road infrastructure? Which
It probably maybe the bridges are also listed by how much commerce actually goes over. Maybe it has to be so much before it's considered vital.
well, this one got everything going over. It got trains, everything.
I would think that would be infrastructure, but I don't know.
But it's showing all the major roads, like that, not all the little roads.
Especially if there's actual cargo trains going over it, because they have their own federal police department. The
Oh yeah.
Railroad.
yeah, the railroad, they actually have their own police department. And they're federal too, and those boys don't fucking play neither. Oh my god, they used to be out by where my dad lived, and if they caught any kids playing on the tracks, man, they'd rip you a new one. They didn't care. If they even saw you just crossing the tracks, like even if you didn't stop and weren't doing anything, if they caught you crossing the tracks, they'd bitch at you.
Yeah, it whatever. Anyway, it ought to be some kind of. See, this is the US. This is the FAA USA data map, is what I'm seeing. But it's not telling me anything's critical on it.
And from what he said, if it doesn't say it, then it isn't. But it's whether you're looking in the right like menu or I don't know.
But I'm looking at what came up on that link they gave us. But I'm also
Yeah.
looking at. See something? Is there anything else? So they got layers.
I mean, I guess you could always just email the FAA and ask them. See what they say.
Or I could always go fly it and have my car run.
You can
Keep
haul
my car
ass out of
running
there.
and leave quick.
Hey, Paul, are you gonna fly the Eclipse?
No.
Oh, you should, dude. You're gonna be in a really
It's-
good spot for it.
Yeah, but it's supposed to be cloudy that day.
Well, I'm saying if it's not though, take the chance and do it. People will really like to see that. And
Just
whoever
make sure you
gets
don't look at it.
and think about this too. The faster you get your video up on YouTube, the more likely yours is gonna be the one to go viral. You know, people are gonna be posting like crazy shorts and shit of that.
Oh, there's going to be more. It's going to be covered more than a presidential assassination.
Oh, dude, I was watching a news story last night. Apparently, there's some Chinese company that's been selling the glasses
The goggles.
online.
Yeah.
Yeah, the little paper glasses, and you're getting like 100. Was it 600 of them for like $100 or something? And they're selling them in these big packs, but some guy did a test on them and it turned out they weren't actually legit. It's like, I wonder how many people bought those and sold them to other people.
Yeah.
They're gonna go out there and burn the fuck out of their retinas.
Well, I had them a few years ago. Got them off of Amazon, and then got a notice a week before the eclipse to destroy them because they weren't accurate.
You could do it with you can look at it with your phone though, right?
I don't know what.
I don't think that would actually do anything if you were looking at it through a screen, huh?
Yeah, but what effect does it have on the screen? It's like
On the
You mean
phone.
on the phone? It would be the
Yeah.
camera.
on the camera.
Well, I mean, people point their cameras at the sun all the time and take videos of it. I don't know if they have any specialized lenses on there or anything,
Filters of some kind.
or if you'd have to have a filter. I don't know. I'll take my phone out there and point it at the sun and see what it does.
Got insurance, right?
I'll just put I'll put I'll tape a pair of my sunglasses over the lens, give it some protection. I don't know. I don't think it would do anything to it. Might not
I
give
don't
you the
know.
best video. If you have had a little bit of like an ND filter or something on the lens, it probably would be fine. I mean, you guys could do it with your drones with an ND filter, right? You wouldn't
I
need.
would do it the highest ND filter I got.
What is the highest one you got? 256 or something?
I think I got a 64.
Yeah.
The eye doctor the other day told me I got the beginning of cataracts in both eyes. So maybe I need to go look at the eclipse and fix it.
Oh, yeah.
Little self-doctoring, is that?
Yeah, go look up there real quick. Go, oh, that's it. That hurt. It's good now. You know?
Crazy.
Look like the guy in Indiana Jones when he drank out of the wrong chalice.
Joe's just trying to get his marijuana prescription. I got cataracts.
No, I don't.
It isn't cataracts. It's pretty much I wouldn't say curable, but they pretty much can get it under control if they catch it early.
Oh yeah,
Right?
she actually told me, she goes, I have it's worse in my right eye, but it's not bad enough to worry about. She says in 2 or 3 years maybe they might have to go in and remove them, you know. But she says as of right now, she goes, it's very borderline. She says, but that's age. It happens, you know. She said, you'll know when. She said, just make sure you go to the eye doctor once a year and just get examined so they can see how it's progressing. I
What's up,
think I'll
Dan?
keep going back to her because she was pretty.
You need a 1000 ND filter for the Eclipse.
Yeah, at least I think that's what Lance says. I think he said he had a 1,000.
But what I'm saying, I don't know. Hold on. I'm just curious if you actually pointed your phone at the sun, would it actually do anything?
That's a good question for Google. Camera phone pointed at the sun.
So I got to get in touch with City Park in New Orleans because City Park is like a Central Park. It's that big, and City Park is beautiful, but on their main site it says no drones. Right, no drones. But Channel 8 was out there yesterday, and they were all in over the park. Now they could have parked outside the park and flown over, and they can't stop. They can't be on the grounds with a drone. So that could have been the story. But I know people at City Park. I'm gonna call them and find out if I can get in there and shoot some video of the park
Right.
because it's the biggest freshwater fishing tournament in the United States at City Park, and every year they have it. They catch bass in there 8-9 pounds, and they've got a museum in the middle of it that's huge, and it's just a beautiful area. I'd like to just get some video there.
Well, you've got
But this
press
pl-
credentials, don't you?
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking if I go in there with the press credentials, I can get in there and probably get approval.
Yeah, exactly. They'll probably ask you a few questions like where you go, what do you want to do, how long are you going to be, when do you want to
So I'm
do
gonna
it?
want to put it on my YouTube channel and spotlight. I want to do it and spotlight the park, the features of the park.
Yeah.
It's probably an easy fix. I just got to ask. And then same thing with Audubon Park where the zoo's at. That you can't get anywhere around there because I want to go out. They've got a big river landing out there where you can sit on the side of the river and watch all the ships go by. And I want to go out there one day and spend most of the day. And all the ships that go through the river, I wanted to go do that. And that's all G airspace, but you can't launch from the park.
Okay, so I just watched a video about that, about using your phone, and they said that it's okay to take pictures and you can technically film it, but they recommend just because it's a camera to put like a sunglass lens or something just over top of it to just give it a slight bit of protection, because it's not like your eyeball.
Yeah,
But that was also 6 years ago. The phones are obviously a lot better now. So they were saying back then you could take like an iPhone, what was it, 5, I think he had in his hand. And he said you
Yeah.
could put they were talking about putting like just some kind of lens, like a sunglass lens or something out of your sunglasses, something over it to give it a little bit of darkness. Because it's not like your eyeball, right? It's not just going to burn the shit up. And then you can point it at it and film it.
and you get your telescope and have the telescope pointed towards it, and you'll be throwing out a laser beam from the other side.
I'm gonna try from here, but we're only in 20% of totality, and I'll put a filter on my drone.
We're gonna be at 87.9, I think it is here.
Yeah, good luck trying to get Eclipse glasses now and getting them on time.
And
I
I
haven't even
got my
looked up,
glasses.
but I'm assuming they're probably hard to get.
I got a box of 10 yesterday in the mail. I haven't opened them yet.
Well, what they keep talking about, they got to have some kind of a authorization number on them for that to be legit. What?
Well, NASA, these companies keep putting on there NASA approved, but NASA has stated they do not officially approve any Eclipse glasses. Like they don't have any kind of part of their agency that goes out and says, yeah, these are good and puts their stamp of approval on them. But there was a bunch of them that were going around online saying that they were approved by NASA. And NASA was like, no, we don't do that. Donald said there's an ISO number on it. I'm assuming that's just a rating of it. Yeah, you did. You've been planning this for a long time, Donald. Yeah. But the problem is like if you're buying glasses this late too, you may run into the counterfeit ones that aren't good because people are throwing everything they can out there trying to make money off of this thing. You know, Donald probably.
It's definitely a money game, that's for sure.
Yeah, if you bought your glasses 6 months or a year ago, you'd probably be all right. But they were talking last night on the news that there's a lot of knockoffs going around that they wouldn't recommend you do because you could still burn your retinas in your eyes. Let me see here.
Yeah, that one little geo zone by the bridge is right on the other side of the river. It's a New Orleans correctional youth facility. And it's free airspace, but it's on the other. I'm not going to go to the other side of the river. But like I said, that would be a mile and a half just across the river, almost 2 miles from where I'd be taking off at. But it stops on the river road, so as long as you're not the levee or anywhere near the river, you'll be fine.
Yeah. I might stop by Walmart and just check, Donald. I doubt they'll have any in stock if they do. but I'll see.
Yeah, you
I
got
think we
always
have what,
call,
like,
you could always call them.
what's the coverage in Florida, Donald? Isn't it like 60% or something? I could be wrong. He knows a lot about it because he's been like waiting to go to this thing. Let me see if I can find it. I want to say we have pretty good coverage from the video I saw. But I'm also in the middle too, so 58% it looks like. And I'm right alongside Orlando, so yeah, they're saying about 58%. Yeah. I'll see. That should still be a good enough amount to see it.
So in the last 3 days here, we've had a ferry landing that goes across the Mississippi River hit by a barge. So the ferry's out of commission. That's down St. Bernard Parish. And then the Chef Pass, they had something hit the bridge down there, and the bridge is out of commission.
Jesus.
Yeah. So what's going on with all these bridges?
Yeah.
Get the tinfoil hat out.
I think what they're doing is knocking them all down so they can have an excuse to build new ones.
Yeah, this is a old bridge. Chef Pass is beautiful. It's 90 feet of water right there where the Chef Pass is. Got a ship coming in behind you, Paul.
Yep. That's the Mark W. Barker.
You're not gonna go catch it?
No,
I mean, you probably don't have time now.
no,
Hey.
I got it not too long ago.
You
Yeah.
launched that Inspire from where you at.
Now that Inspire would have no problem catching that fucking boat. Those things only move at like 9 knots.
Look at that little Peter boat running next to it. That sucker's not even, it looks like it's sitting still almost.
Yeah, he's just putzing along.
I'll tell you which boat is big, massive, and got a lot of power is Gerald R. Ford. They won't tell you how fast it goes. They only admit it goes up to 35 knots, but they say it goes way faster than that.
Yeah.
Supposedly it's classified. They
Marine
won't tell
traffic says
anybody.
it's doing 9 knots, but I don't believe it.
No way it looks like that. It might be now.
But
Now
that
it looks-
also takes into effect the current because it's tracking the boat. But if the boat's flowing in the current at 7 or 8 knots, it's really only pushing 1 additional knot on top. You know what I mean?
Well, 9 knots
Yep.
is what, 10 miles an hour?
Yep.
Yeah, it's not very fast. That's actually pretty slow. But they usually only cruise between 5 and 9, right?
Yeah. Well, no, sometimes out in the lake, they'll do 12, 14 knots.
Oh, I'm just talking about where they come through right there.
Yeah, in tight
Your-
quarters. Yep.
Yeah, your main area of flying.
Have you flown the Inspire very much, Paul?
What's that?
Have you flown the Inspire very much?
No,
Yeah.
just the one time. Yeah, was it yesterday, wasn't it?
Fucking Daryl. He says Titanic has a lot of power as well. Takes out subs, I'm told. Oh, that's so fucked up. Didn't they finish getting? I think they got all that off the ocean floor now, didn't they? That submarine, the Ocean Gate or whatever. I think they recovered all that, man.
Lay down. Oh, got that tournament today. I gotta go shoot. That one autism, the beginning of the autism tournament. I'd rather be in Florida.
Well, next year, just plan for it and tell them you can't do anything at that time.
Well,
Within
next year I
film.
probably won't be doing pictures for
I thought it was another sport too that you were worried about conflicting with.
them. Yeah, that's
That base.
supposed to be tomorrow. I'm waiting for her to call me. And I put in a call to them, and as far as I know, they haven't got anybody to shoot it, and she asked me to shoot it, so she hasn't confirmed with me. So if I don't, tomorrow I have baseball. So either way, I got tomorrow too.
Daryl's gonna be back in Michigan in 2 weeks, Paul.
Oh, is he?
So all your technical issues, if you have any, you can have
Write 'em
Daryl
down.
come over and sort them out for you. He'll get all that shit sorted for you real quick. He'll be able to set up that controller so you can control the camera and all that. He said he'll come by and fly the Inspire with you. If anybody will figure it out, it'd be fucking Daryl for sure.
Actually, I'm
Daryl
thinking
can't-
about selling it.
If Daryl can't, his other brother Daryl will.
Might be able to flip it for a couple $100 more, but I don't see you getting much more than that. I mean, as cheap as they're going now on
No, I'd be
eBay.
glad just to get what I got in it up back out. You know, I got 900 in it.
Yeah, but I wouldn't post it for 900 if you sell it. I'd post it for like 12 or best offer and let them talk you down a little bit.
Yeah, I'd go for 12 either. 12 even.
Yeah, because all the batteries charged up. They're sitting here, all 6 of them. The only thing that's bad is, which is famous for this for the DJI, is the zipper on the one zipper is off. Because it's got 2 zippers that go around the great big case, and
Right.
the zipper's there, but it's come out of the, you know, where they pull apart. Yeah,
Yeah, clip
that's
'em.
it, Lance. You know,
Oh, so-
the zipper goes like this, and then
Yeah, the zipper broke.
and then the zipper part kind of puts it together and pulls it apart and that kind of stuff. Well, it's all there, but it's pulled apart, and I don't know where you would take that to fix it.
I mean, you really wouldn't. I guess you could try to fix it yourself, but
Well, if you can get it back on the track, you can go back to where it came off and put a little stitch there and probably stop it.
I can't.
I've
is
done
it
that before.
missing? Is it missing a couple teeth somewhere on the zipper?
No, the zipper's good all the way around.
Usually, if you bend that out and then get it back on there and then bend it back, sometimes you can save them.
But you can break it.
Yeah, you can, but I mean, I guess you could take it to a seamstress if you're that worried about it. See if they can fix it. I mean, really, your only all alternative is you have to buy another case or just sell it as is.
You know, let somebody else worry about it, right?
Just make sure you put that in the description though. As you get some jackass that'll try to return it over a zipper. Say, oh, he didn't tell me the zipper was broken. You know. How much is a case for one of those?
Oh, well, if you get a hard case, they're about $180. But let me show you what I'm talking about. And
Daryl said selling it, checks bank account. What, are you interested in it, Daryl? The only reason I tell him put it on there for 12 and let somebody talk him down, because if he puts it on there for what he paid for it, he's gonna end up losing money because somebody's gonna want to get it for like 700 or 800. Or unless he can, like I said, unless he can find somebody, like if Daryl's interested in it, and just buy it for what he bought it for.
anyway, the zipper. Let me get, the zipper goes all the way around.
But it just came off the one side of it.
Yeah, that's what I was just gonna check and see. This zipper maybe goes all the way around.
Oh, it might have two. Yeah, it's got two of them on there. Just one of them popped off.
Nah, the zipper needs to be replaced because this one.
Oh, he said I'm not as interested as it. I am in the Avata too.
Well, I'm gonna just tell you what I just found on here. I might take me a ride to go see this thing.
See what?
Inspire 2. I might go take a ride. I'll find out if they still have it. It's a female selling it. Okay. I might ask about it and go take a ride. It's about a 5-hour ride, but I'll go take a ride for this. It says professional drone.
How much are they asking?
I'm getting to it. It says maximum flight time 25 minutes. DJI Inspire, like new condition. Camera features, goes through all of that. Comes with 10 batteries.
It's
Got 10
Inspire.
batteries.
It's an Inspire 2 though.
Yeah, Inspire 2. And it's got one of those long plastic tables covered in gear. The two controllers, the screen, everything.
Does it say which camera it has? X5 or
Um,
X7, X9?
It says 2K. It says 2K, 4K, high res. Doesn't say the camera, but I can't tell what it is. I can't see it.
Now how
But
much
it's
is she?
somebody that, if this is true, she doesn't. It's probably sold because she probably doesn't have a clue what she has. Like this, it says ships for free, but it also said, I can't see a date when it was put on. See if I can find a date first.
How much
I
does she
wouldn't
want
even.
for it though?
You really don't want to hear this.
Yeah, I do.
$410.
I don't know. That seems way low.
I'd take a ride to go see if it's there, and I'd buy that sucker in a heartbeat.
Donald said Joe's getting catfished.
Think about it. If somebody doesn't have a clue what they got and they're selling it for $410, if it works and everything, well, would that be a steal? Huh?
Yeah, that's still a long ass drive though. If you get there and find out it's not real.
Yeah, but I get to go by Billy's Boudin and get some Boudin on the way and on the way back.
Oh, so you're just
It's only
finding
a
an
5-hour
excuse.
drive.
You're just finding an excuse to go there. He's like, oh,
Yeah,
the
get some.
drone's
I
secondary.
could bring my drone and fly along the way. That would be crazy.
Like if it was like a few $1,000s, I'd say, oh yeah, that's probably a really good deal. But and then she didn't even put what camera was with it. Like that's very important to know which
Well, I'm
camera
getting
it is.
ready to tell you if I could see. They got, and I'll put it this way. This is why I don't think This is why I don't think it's a fake, because it's got close-up pictures of everything.
Yeah, but that don't mean that they didn't steal those pictures from another listing,
Well,
too.
yeah, I agree, but hey,
Do a reverse
see
Google
the
search on
person.
those,
Yeah, I don't believe it's fake. I think it's fake.
that
Because it
stuff. It
says
was like,
join Facebook in 2023. It
oh
says
yeah,
it's in Beaumont, Texas, but it says lives in Dallas.
yeah.
Yeah, so it's probably fake. But I tell you what, boy, if somebody had made a mistake and sold, I found somebody around here was selling one for like 500 like that, I handing them cash.
Yeah, you generally don't see scam profiles that are 5, 6 years old. They start up a
Yeah.
new one every time that they try to pull a scam on somebody. It's always recent.
So it's an Inspired 2,
Yeah, it's
Joe?
inspired 210 batteries. I don't think you can. Let me see if I can get it back to the very beginning.
Oh, Joel said he saw a similar ad in Michigan of a lady selling an Inspire 1 V2 for 400.
Yeah, that's probably what it is. Probably all scam. Let's see if it's a fit. Yeah, I put the link in the drum. I mean, in the chat.
Yeah, back.
It's probably all fake. But I tell you what, boy, I'd be on this thing. I'm gonna see y'all later. I'd go pack up right now and go. I thought this was, and I got relatives in Beaumont. They could have checked it out for me.
Does that link doesn't work for me? Boy.
That's the top. That is the link.
It's saying you may be seeing this message if you recently joined Facebook if Marketplace hasn't launched in your country. What?
That's it right there.
Yeah,
That's it right
that's
there.
way too good of a deal.
2 controllers? Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And that
Hey, go.
camera case isn't for an X3, that's for a bigger camera.
Yeah, go through that's what I was talking about. Look at that.
Yeah. So if they had the price for like a few thousand, I would say, maybe that's a good deal. Well, not $450.
Yeah.
That's way, or 410. That's way too good of a deal.
Look at that baby. That camera, that's a $1,500 camera.
Yeah, that's probably an X5 or X7.
Yep.
Yeah, that would be. I tell you what. Like I said, if I thought that was real, and I could get it verified, like I said, I got relatives in Beaumont area. They go look at it. I'd say buy it. I'll be there.
Where does it say it is, Joe?
Beaumont, Texas.
What you do is you call down the police department of Beaumont, Texas, and ask them to check it out.
Well, that's why definitely that account being so new, I would definitely think that was a scam because you
Yeah.
don't see scam profiles that are 10 years old because they don't want any actual link to themselves to the scam, so they make up fake profiles.
Yeah. What I need to do is send them a message and say, I live in Beaumont. Can I come see it?
Well, what you do, send them a message and say you're a captain in law enforcement and you'd be happy to meet and pick it up.
What's her other listings? Says she has 4 active listings.
I don't know. I didn't look.
Yeah, because look at it. She's selling like cheap Chinese shit. Look at that down at the bottom. Go to seller's details.
Where?
Right, then highlighted in blue right down below where your cursor is. You see up by her picture? So yeah, there you go. Now go down.
And she's selling off a Timu.
Yeah. That's the other listings that she has, yeah.
14, 14, 14.
Some scam artist. Probably out of China or something. Or out of some third world shithole.
I just sent her a message saying I'm coming through Beaumont in a couple of hours. Is there any way to come see this?
Well,
Watch
you,
over-
you need to check it out, Joe, because that price is so good.
if it's a scam, she's either gonna ask you to put money down to hold it, or she's gonna ask you that she needs to verify you through Google, and she wants you to give her your Google information.
Yeah.
Well, you just make up a fake badge number, Joe, and say, "Yeah, here's my badge number."
I just grabbed one of my badges and sent a picture. Here is me.
Yep.
And that would be crazy. Need to find one here. They got an Inspire 2 in West Wego across the river, 3,000.
Yeah, if you could get that, that'd be talk about like winning the lottery.
Here's another one. Here's another one's for 300. A DJI Inspire 2 with 6 batteries for $360. In Dallas, Texas, from a D Yang. Yeah, how about that one? Inspire 1 with 3 batteries for $1,300.
Jody said, ask Chris Hope to go look at it. He goes, I'll jump in on it. I'll give you $200 for the bigger camera.
Yeah.
Hell no, honestly, unless you really, really had a use for that drone and you actually got a drone that cheap like that,
Flip
I don't know. You'd be kind of stupid not to flip it. Unless you really just wanted it that bad, you know. Because I mean,
I'll be honest with you. If I could get an Inspire 2 like that for that price, guess who's flying an Inspire 2?
Well, that's what I said. If you want to make money though, it'd be a hell of a flip because you, like Paul said, the camera alone's 1,500, and then per lens you're looking at a couple grand, and I think there's 4 lenses on average for those cameras.
Yeah.
That's a lot of fucking money. Honestly, I'd probably just sell the camera and because it's got the FPV cam on the front, so you can still fly it on the camera. I'd sell the camera and make a couple grand. And
Yes, yeah, Daryl, I have the Inspire 1. I got caught up over here and
no, Jody said, "Yay! Now we have to stay online to see if Joe gets a reply."
Did you message her?
Got one guy's got 4 of them for sale, and they come with the 2 controllers, 2 batteries, and the hard case.
What's he asking for?
And he wants $1,500 for each one.
That's still pretty low for an Inspire 2. That's
Must
really
be somebody that had a business. He's got 4 of them.
I mean, it is possible, but still, that's pretty fucking low. I mean, Inspire 2,
Yeah,
I think by itself is like $8 grand, isn't it?
Does he show what camera? What does he have with the Inspire 2?
Well, I
don't see cameras.
I think the drone alone is like $8 grand, isn't it? That's not
Yeah.
including any accessories or cameras or extra batteries. So I said, even that seems really low. If he was selling it for like $4,000, I would probably say that'd be probably legit. But
Yeah, because the ones I'm seeing that are coming that look legit, they want like $6,000 for
yeah, that's what I
them.
say.
For
If you want
two, I found a Inspired 2 silver package. It's got the camera in it, but I don't know what camera it is. Let's see if it tells you. It's the X5S camera.
X5, yeah, that's
And how much?
One controller. He wants 3,500. That's
That's
probably
still
about
probably
right.
a pretty good buy.
Yeah,
You ever thought about getting one of those big drones though? Have they interested
because of
you
the
at all or
price.
no?
But it has, but because of the price, I'll be honest with you. Like I said, if I had the money and I didn't care, I'd have the was it the M50, M30? What is it? The bigger one?
MT30?
Yeah, I'd have that one.
But yeah, see, I would like to have one of those just to have one, but it definitely wouldn't be photography because for doing any kind of actual decent video with. Because Dre said that those don't have like any camera settings on them because they're not really made for that.
Yeah.
Inspire, I'd rather have an Inspire if I was going to get a big drone. Especially if I was
I
you,
just
because you're into cameras and all that, and Inspire's
yeah.
got the X9. You can put
Frank's
the
got the
X9 and
Inspire
all that.
1 V2.
I just like the fact that when that sucker gets up to a certain level, those arms change. I think that looks so cool.
Oh, it is.
Yeah.
You'd be surprised. You take it off and there's anybody around and those arms start going up. Everybody goes, wow.
Oh yeah, you definitely stick out at a drone meetup too with one of those.
Yeah, like I said, if I had the money, I'd probably. And if I had the money where I don't have to worry about it, I'd get the 3.
Daryl, what does the Inspire 3 come with? What kind of camera? Is it just the X9 or did they come up with a whole new camera?
I think it depends upon which package you have.
Well, I'm just saying for your standard like video photography, not actually doing like mapping and all that. I don't even know if you do mapping with those type of drones. I think those are mainly for doing like Hollywood type shit, I think. I don't know.
Yeah, I got $985 in mine.
That's with shipping and everything.
Yeah, that's everything out the door up to me.
Daryl said, I can't remember. I drooled and then forgot about it.
Is he talking to her on the phone?
I don't know. That's why I said you don't really hear anybody ever talk about the Inspires and shit a lot. Because 90% of the guys in the drone community can't afford to buy one, so
Well, and
they're too
90% of the
expensive.
time they don't need that big aircraft, you know?
Well, I'm saying if you could buy an Inspire-sized drone that was really good, like if you could get an Inspire for a couple grand out the door all day long, probably more people in the community would buy them because you're right at the same price as buying a Mavic 3 or Air 3 or whatever. But they're just so expensive. I mean, the drones alone would be 8-12 grand,
Well,
you
and it
know.
also depends upon
So,
what you're going to do with it because, the flight time is only 15 minutes. on an Inspire.
And it takes 15 minutes to set up and launch.
Yep.
I mean, people don't talk about all the expensive stuff because just nobody buys it.
Yeah, like I said, if I had the money and it wasn't an issue, I'd probably go ahead and go out like I was telling you yesterday and buy that 3. Just buy the Inspire 3 and get a couple extra batteries, get like 3 batteries for it. And I'd probably have it to play with, you know.
That's why I find it funny when like DJI sends these YouTube creators like Spire 3s and shit like that. I'm like, why are you doing that? Like, companies are going to be your main buyer of that. They don't give a shit about some YouTuber on YouTube that's flying it around. If they're going to
Right.
go and buy 20 drones from you, they're going to want somebody from DJI to come out and do a presentation, show how the drones work, go over the drones with all their guys. Like, they're not going to want to just fucking sit and watch YouTube videos. Oh, yeah, I think I'll buy 20 of these. Like, I just never understood why they waste their time doing that. Because, like I said, if you just look at the community of drone pilots we know, 99% of them are never going to buy an Inspire. Because it's just too expensive. They're not doing that kind of Hollywood commercial work, right? So I just don't see the point in sending influencers drones that expensive. I think that's kind of stupid. I understand them sending like a Mavic 3 to an influencer or Air 3 or something like that. Because there's a lot of you guys that will go on YouTube and watch that and make a decision whether you want to buy it. But a company's not going to go on YouTube to watch some YouTuber and decide they want to buy 20 Inspires.
You know, I like the fact that Inspire 3 though, that remote has a screen on it too, you know.
Honestly, that should have been a thing since the 1.
Yeah, it should have been. Got a 7-inch 1200 nit screen.
Well, that's what I was going to tell you guys. When I flew that ship this morning, I was having a hard time seeing the screen again because of the low brightness.
That's why you put that skin on there that you took off.
Yeah, I had it on. Didn't make a difference. The only thing that does is stops reflections. But the screen brightness, and I was using my reading glasses that don't tint or anything like that. It's like,
We use the white one or the black one.
That might be your problem seeing the screen too, is when you're going outside and you're looking at a 700 nit screen and you got
that's
sunglasses
it.
on.
Exactly.
Because not only is the sun blaring down on the screen, but you also got sunglasses on, which is darkening your vision.
Well, no, I'm not wearing sunglasses. I'm wearing
Oh, you
reading
did,
glasses.
but I thought they had the transition shit in them.
These do, not
Oh,
my
okay.
reading glasses.
So you switched glasses and you're doing
Yes.
better flying now?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay. That's what I was gonna say.
Because that black screen, the darkness of it helps. That black silicone.
Yeah, wasn't that one of the drones they stopped supporting, Daryl, was the 210? I think that was the one that
Here comes Dre.
I want to say that's the one I think Jim had, was the Matrice 210.
I have a question for you, Dre, in a minute. Yeah, I said I had a question. He left.
What? I'm right here.
Oh, he's there.
The question for you is, where do you find the NTSB infrastructure list?
The NTSB doesn't have a absolute infrastructure list. They're,
Oh, there
they're
you
the
go.
investigation. They're the investigation service of the FAA. So wherever an incident happens, that's where they respond.
But do they have a list that you can look at everything and see if it's on it
No,
anywhere?
No,
See, that's what I thought.
that's
Yeah,
why I
that's
said
what
that when I talked about the state of Arkansas. The states can designate what they want as critical infrastructure or infrastructure period, and go from there. And that's why I said that one about the state of Arkansas. They talk about railroad systems. Now here where I'm at, I can fly over my railroad yard, no problem. Okay, so I mean, different states have different laws based upon what they want to classify as infrastructure. Now, the only thing that's generalized would be something like jails.
Yeah.
That's in the FAA guidelines. But when it talks about infrastructure, that's an open book based upon local requirements and everything else.
So you're pretty much saying it's a big clusterfuck.
Yeah. And that's why I tell people you got to be careful, because what you do one place doesn't mean it'll apply at another place.
That's what Daryl was saying earlier, that he's never seen a list, but he uses that one map program or website that he put in there earlier.
Yeah. Now, Paul, you're not using a Crystal Sky with that
I sold my Crystal Sky, so I'm using a
Oh.
tablet, but
Oh yeah, you in trouble then, partner, because unless you go buy one of those what's the ones everybody was all excited about a year or two ago, those 8-inch military grade tablets.
yeah.
Yeah,
I
unless
had
you
one of
go-
those too and sold it.
Yeah, unless you got one of those, Crystal Sky is going to be your best money. And you know what? That Crystal Sky comes with the Go app already on it.
Hey, Dre, I'm going to show you what Joe's been pining for.
But now, Dre, the NTSB
Yeah.
does other stuff besides plane crashes, though, because they said they were
No,
one of the ones that responded to the bridge collapse, right?
Right. I say the NTSB responds to all incidents of transportation. They're like the FAA branch of the investigation. Transportation issues, they respond. Train, air, rail, NTSB responds. They are the investigators.
Okay, that's what I was saying. They're not just for plane
Yeah.
crashes. And okay,
Yeah, I'm like
Well-
that, Joe. Minus the little board there that you can get off the computer screen to calibrate.
Yeah.
Don't need that, off the bat. It's nice to have some other stuff there.
Hey,
Now,
Dre,
that harness is the one that comes with the M30.
can you
series.
see?
Did
Can
you-
you see
you see the price?
screen, Dre?
Oh, what's the price? $410?
$410.
$410 for all that.
No. Oh, no. So, somebody full of it.
Yeah,
Dre wasn't
Hey,
falling
Look
for
at
that
the
at all.
camera alone. You know.
Yeah, that somebody either it doesn't work, period, or something else.
And the seller is Ray Rios,
Yeah, right.
Dallas, Texas.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
No,
Dre wasn't falling for none of that shit.
no. I thought it might have been a eBay starting price is $410. And that's gonna go up to about, for all that stuff there. I would say that's a 2, right? I would say finished price probably about, for all that, about $4 to $5 grand,
Yep.
Yeah.
and that's
Yeah,
half of what
Joe,
and
Joe
that's
all of a
less than-
sudden was sitting here and he was searching online, and all of a sudden it started drool running down his
Yeah,
cheek.
he had a Paul Murray moment.
I sent him a message. I said, I'm driving through Beaumont in about an hour. I said, can I stop and see this thing? I'm waiting for a reply. I'm gonna be waiting tomorrow for a reply.
No,
I
because
actually have relatives.
but they'll contact you and say, "Oh, you got to put money down on it or something," and then all of a sudden
Yeah.
the listing
I'll
will
hold
disappear.
it for you. Yeah.
Yeah, but you got to put money down on it.
I got a cousin in Dallas, in Beaumont that would run right over there for me.
That's 100% a scam. That's got to be.
Oh, I know.
Yeah.
I said if it was like
$410.
if it was like $5 or $6 grand at least, I would say maybe. But
That's why I say $5-6 grand easy. That might be reasonable if it has mileage on. Because look at the accessory stuff. Those two SSD or whatever sticks. Those
Yeah.
ain't cheap by themselves.
well, I mean,
You
just
know?
look at the batteries. There was like 8 batteries with how many?
Yeah.
How much is a
Well,
set
like
of
I
those
said,
batteries?
a lot of times you'll get people who run pawn shops and they don't know what they got and they just trying to run out the door, but not at that discounted price.
No, that's way low.
That's why I said that's way too low. even for a pawn shop knucklehead, that's way too low.
Yeah, that was like when I would. So I went to go take my Air 2 in to sell it, and I wasn't having any bites on Facebook Marketplace, so I decided to go into the pawn shop just to see what they'd give me.
Mm-hmm.
And the guy says, "Well, I bought this drone, 6 months ago, and it hasn't sold." And he points at this drone, and it looks like a $20 Temu drone, and he's trying to sell it for $200. And he was like, drones just don't have the resale value. I said, bro, this is a DJI Air 2. This is not that cheap ass drone on your wall over there. And he was like, and he got real pissed when I said that. He was like, no, I don't want it. He's like, if I get it from you, I'm gonna give you $100. I said, fuck you, and I walked out. I was like, get the hell out of here.
Hey, Dre, if you
Yeah.
can see it, that's a crystal sky right there.
Right.
I mounted
That
on
is.
one of them.
Right. I still have two. I still
Yeah.
have two of them. The large. I got 2 7-inch and 1 5-inch.
And you got two controllers. One of them has got the crystal sky on it, and it's
Yeah.
$410.
Yeah. Yeah.
Jody said, don't show it to Dre, he'll buy it.
No, I ain't buying nothing. I want one, but I'm not that gullible. I would like to get my hands on one, but I at least I understand. That's why I always tell people, I say, you need to understand the value of some of this stuff. Some people try to rip you. Like you see all these guys now selling these Mavic 3 T's, and they want like over $5,000 for them. And we're keeping the keywords they use is barely used. And no, not that. They say something like almost new. I said, no, is it new or is it used? And they get all bent out of shape. Well, it's only got a few flies. I said, dude, is she a virgin or not?
Right.
There ain't no ifs, ands, and buts about it. It's either new or it's used.
Yep.
So and I say, stop trying to sell me something at a brand new price and it's used. And they get all bent out of shape and stuff. Well, I call them out that crap. I'm like, come on, man, be real. You just want to get your money back because you figured out you was going to buy something, thought you was going to make a bunch of money off of it, and found out you need more than just a drone to get a job.
Yep. It's like people go out and buy a Mini too, and they're like, I'm going to start doing professional work.
Yeah, I'm like,
Hey, good luck with that.
and that's what I said. That's what the whole thing is. They go out there and buy this stuff, not knowing, basically not doing their homework, and setting themselves up. I tell folks, this is business. Is just business. I don't care if it's flying drones, or you doing tiddlywinks, or you doing photography work. It's still business, and you need to do your homework. Check your local area to see what's going on. What's the viability of you getting work where you live?
Yep.
And just because you buy a certain drone, don't mean automatically people are going to be beating down your door to have you come fly their projects. Like I've always say, like Joe, he's had his foot in the door at these schools for over a decade or two. That's bread and butter. So him getting a drone, like I always tell you, him getting a drone is just a tool to add to what he already had established. It's just another element of what he can do with his business. His photography skills and connections is what the mainstay is.
There's some things they allow me to do. Some things the school board won't let you do.
Right.
Like if it's an open air assembly, when a football game, you're not going to fly.
Right.
But if it's not a LHSAA sanctioned event, like it's 7-on-7 in the summertime, I can put my drone up.
Right.
And the coach says, go get your drone.
Yeah.
So I'm putting the drone up and doing the 7-on-7 with the drone, and they love it. So I could do that.
Yeah, and that's why I tell a lot of people. That's why I have the amount of drones that I do have, is because you never know what you may have available to you at any particular job. Like I said, I have a DSLR camera. There's some require ground shots. I'm not going to walk around with a drone in my hand and a controller taking ground shots.
No,
I got a GPS thing that goes on top of my camera.
What's up,
Turn that
Jonathan?
sucker on, and I walk around, take pictures of the ground stuff, because a lot of them still want GPS coordinates with the shots. So I do it with that, and that's why I invested in the Pocket 3 to get some really nice ground footage with the capabilities of that camera, and you mix it together with your regular stuff with the drone.
Jonathan's in the chat laughing about your virgin comment.
Yeah.
And Daryl said the M3E and the M3T are monsters for the price point.
They are. I mean, you can't really beat it for the price point, and that's why I was just into it with somebody on Facebook page, and you know, matter of fact, Daryl knows what's going on because he just chimed in, and they were just talking about California and Florida, and you know, he made some disparaging remarks about California, so I came back at it and says, well, at least our governor doesn't ban drones for first responders, you know, and
Yep.
you know, that Buy America First ban. I said, yeah, you're gonna buy something at twice the cost and half the capabilities. That makes
What's up,
great
Al?
economic sense.
See if Chris Hope can check it out. No, I don't think
Uh,
anything's gonna come of that. That's
That
definitely a
ain't gonna
scam.
happen.
Like and another thing you got to look at with Facebook ads too, like that is, like I said, you're not going to see somebody's 10-year-old account trying to scam people. It's always a new account because the minute they scam a few people, they shut
They're
that
gone.
account down and they're gone, and then they start
Yeah.
another one.
They're gone.
Yep.
Hey, good
Yeah.
morning, Al. Dan, what's up, partner?
Because if if you go to your local law enforcement, say somebody scammed me online, they're not going to
They're
unless
gonna
they
tell you
can
owner beware.
unless they can connect that profile to a specific person. There's nothing they can be able to do about it.
Well, that's the whole thing. They're gonna tell you owner beware because the fact is you don't know where. Most time the buyer or the seller is out of state, somewhere else, and it's out of their jurisdiction, so there's nothing they can do.
Right.
You have to go with
Yep.
you have to go with a federal agency to go at that level, just like our buddy there in Georgia.
Yep.
And it's so crazy about that guy. I see him advertised on the DJI webpage about repairing drones. He'd be recruiting folks, send me your drone so I can repair. And some folks swear by him, say, "Oh man, I sent my drone to so and so, fixed it, awesome work." And then here he is, and the other people complain about him about he doesn't do good work, and then here he is getting busted by the feds for modifying drones to fly over jails.
Jim's droning wants to know how much for Tiddlywinks, Trey.
Tiddlywinks is pretty productive work. That means you can do a little bit of anything, everywhere, all the time. So it's a pretty lucrative business, you know.
Yeah, I can't even find a list in Louisiana on Louisiana infrastructure. That's how bad it is. Because I really want to know about the Huey Long Bridge.
The
Because
what
I'm
bridge?
going to fly over there, but I need to know, you know,
The Huey Long Bridge.
Yeah,
the Huey
yeah,
P. Long Bridge in
Yeah,
Jefferson,
what was
Louisiana.
his full name? What's the name? UEP Long something?
Huey P. Long
Yeah, that used to be
used
like
to be
a
a
joke when we were
representative
kids.
senator or somebody.
Yeah, it used to be a joke with us out here. You know, people talking trash. You know, they call you all kind of odd names, but UEP Long was like one of them kind of jokes, man.
Yeah. He was the governor of Louisiana at one point. He actually he had so much influence when he was here in the state that he'd go to the LSU games and he had a box seat right on the field, right?
Oh
And
wow.
he arrived, they'd be having the game.
Mhm.
When he arrived, they stopped the game so he could walk across the field and he'd wave at everybody.
Oh
He'd go get in
man,
his box seat and then they'd go back to the game. And then when he was ready to leave, they stopped the game and he walked back across the field.
that's crazy. That's crazy.
Yeah, that's political power.
Yeah, yeah.
But his
Yeah.
bridge, it's the whole bridge infrastructure from one point to the other is 5.3 miles
Mm.
because it's a train bridge and they need that much for the train to be able to get the right angles, you know, the right elevation
Yeah.
to get over. So it's a
Mhm.
train bridge in the middle, and it used to be a double highway bridge on both sides. And I'll put it this way: when I used to drive an ambulance over it, I used to have to get in the middle because I didn't want anybody trying to pass me.
Mm.
You know, because that's how tight that bridge was. Now they've
Yeah.
expanded out to a 4-lane on both sides and rebuilt all the structure around it. But I want to go take pictures of this thing and get, you know, it's class B airspace. I can go 400 feet
Yeah.
and I can get the approvals, no problem. It's real simple.
Read that.
It says key infrastructure. I see that.
Louisiana Department of Transportation Development Huey P. Long Bridge over the Mississippi River is a
But-
key infrastructure component of the New Orleans and Louisiana
But that's just,
economies.
it doesn't say it's listed.
Uh,
Just
So
says
that's why I said,
the
Justin,
economy.
it varies from local areas to different
It's vague.
states and what they consider. It might be a key infrastructure.
well, who could he
bridge.
call just to ask? Is there a specific?
You know what?
Yeah.
Unless, like, that's why I tell people, unless the local state or entity, whoever controls it, calls and submits a request to the FAA
Yep.
to make it a restricted area, it's free game. Because
Yeah, it's not a geo zone.
yeah, if it's not a geo zone, not it's in, whatever you want to do, control the airspace, it's free game. Now the local entity, like I always said before, they can restrict your takeoff and landing area. That'll make it very difficult where you have to violate the FAA rules. They said you can't take off and land within 1 square mile of the bridge. Then if you fly it, they know you're in violation because you can't see it that far. So then they
Makes
they
sense.
catch you. They catch you on that technicality. Says, well, hey, we know you can't take off and land within 1 square mile. So how did you fly that bridge? Unless you flew from
Well,
a ship off the
the-
water.
The app that Daryl used, it didn't show anything, right?
No, it didn't show it.
Because that's he was using this app here. I don't know if you use this, Trey, but I guess this is the
Yeah, I use it. That's the FAA
Yeah.
site. Yeah, I go there first, and then I'll check. Then I go to DJI's zone to see what they got
Yeah.
in zone to see if I need to get
The
a
GeoZone.
unlock. Yeah, from there. But that's
Yeah,
the first one I go to right there.
yeah, this is the one Daryl recommended to him, and when he looked on here, it didn't show anything. So
Yeah,
No.
yeah. So that's the two places
Yeah.
I go when people come to me. I say, okay, let me check the FAA site to see what it is, and then let me go to DJI unlock site and see what they got there because those maps do not match up on a lot of areas.
Yep. I'll be right back.
It's best to check both.
oh, that was like back when I used to look on the maps in the Before You Fly app, the one they would always
Mhm.
recommend you do.
Yeah,
It would always say something different than the other apps would.
yeah.
Um,
So
Yeah, and
So I-
the other
I-
apps
that-
will tell you, oh, you can't fly here, and then the Before You Fly would be like, oh, you're all good to go. Like, what the
Yeah.
fuck?
Well,
Which one do I listen to?
yeah, that's why I say you got to double check both of them because, like I say, one may be dependent upon the FAA map, the other might
Well,
be dependent
that
upon
sound-
the DJI map. Well,
What's
look at
going
that!
on
The
here?
smart man rolls into the chat.
Oh no, he's trying to get that Temu computer to work. Give him a minute.
Ooh.
Weird.
Hey, Dan, how you doing?
I thought he was more technical than that. I guess not. All he had to do was change his speakers in the settings.
Mm, mm, mm. Yeah. Well. Yeah, Daryl. Like I said, you gotta check both maps at all times because, like I said before, I've ran into stuff where even the FAA map is like I have a job over between Ontario Airport and Chino Airport, and they have airspace that overlaps. But Ontario being the more dominant airport, you may only get the airspace information for that airport, but the Chino one is right below it. So I had to submit a authorization for both airports for me to fly.
Can you hear us, Dan?
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah, that was weird.
Yeah, so that's why I say sometimes you got to check both areas to make sure. And I said, once I got the approval, which no big deal, I had to submit that unlock over to DJI because DJI had it locked at 192 feet. I can only fly, but I need to fly at 400. So I had to submit that over to them so I can get that done. So there's a lot of
Fluid
things
pill is
that are
working
still-
today.
Speaking of DJI lovers, what's up, Dan?
Yeah, okay. Done.
He loves flying his DJI drone with his proprietary Apple phone.
Totally, bro. Absolutely, man. Everything's
Well,
proprietary.
I'm surprised you're here, Dan, because I thought maybe you were going to that executive directors meeting of DJI.
People go to that.
Well, yeah, when you're on the board of directors, you got to go.
I don't know if you'll catch me out there, man. I did that 2 years and then did the third one in Michigan, and I don't know, man. I don't know. Justin, do you think I should go?
I mean, want to? I don't see a problem.
Think I should just show up?
Yeah,
Like Paul's like, yes,
yeah, just show
yeah.
up. Hey, I'm here.
I
You
know.
would be
I like
146 on the list.
I like to go places where I'm tolerated instead of celebrated. Yay!
That's right.
I thought that they just said like 15 or 18 people canceled.
Yeah, I'm one of them.
I don't know. I couldn't tell you, man.
'Cause they had like
I was number
140 some
31.
people.
Here's the problem with Jensen is that it's great for GPS pilots. It's not good for FPV guys because there's like nothing fun there to do. Like it's just flat with scenery. There's not really any like tall
There's not a lot of
structures.
room on that little
Well, no,
side thing either.
if you jump, I'm not. Even if I went, bro, I'm not gonna fly on that little pier thing that they have. You got 160 pilots that are there, bro, and I'm running analog. Like the realisticness of me actually being able to fly without getting plugged in on is like 0. So like, if I were to go, I would only want to fly the second day when it's just kind of the groupie thing where everybody figures out who does what, where we're gonna fly at. That would be the ideal scenario for
Yeah,
FPV
usually they
guys.
have little break off meetups the next day.
Right. But even then, it's like, what do you fly here? It's just flat. I want a tall tower that's like 600 feet tall to just rip down and, create some adrenaline, dude. I think the most they have over there is those two little, and that's Fort Pierce. They have the two little like standing silo towers next to each other. They're about, I don't know, 160 feet tall, maybe. They're not crazy tall. And then you have a couple of the hotels are about 19 stories tall. Outside of that, bro, there is nothing. There's not even a water tower, bro, within 15 towns. It's like it's great for GPS people, but for FPV guys, it's like it's really not much here.
Yeah, because where they're actually flying at on the first day, yeah, about the only thing you have is a little bridge,
Water.
the bridge to go under, and that's
Yeah,
about it.
which as an FPV guy, what do I want to do with the bridge?
Yeah, because they're really
Power loop it and do flips through the things, and people are gonna be like, "Oh, don't be flying like that." Safety.
Don't make fun of Dre.
That's right.
No.
That's right. Dan knows I was on their case last night, Timmy Jean show. I love when folks, as I always say, Justin, when I was a cop, I said, if you don't know the law, don't quote the law. So
Here's the true part of that. Don't post your footage for everybody to see, and you can do whatever you want.
There you go, Dan. I agree with that 100%. But everybody wants to talk about how they have constitutional rights to fly. Mm-hmm. And I always tell them, please tell me what section of the Constitution is that in. Then they want to fall back and say, well, it's the pursuit of happiness. I'm like, shut up. Good try, but that ain't
I saw you having a crack at rigor.
I was like, come on. And you see, he got quiet when I said, oh, let me know what your legal rights are to fly.
I mean, I was frustrated just because, I don't jump on Tammy's show like that, and I'm not even going to ask to be on panel because I don't frequent there like that. But she asked some questions of me that I would be more than happy to go over. When I was talking about then, we'll try the court system. She was building up to like, well, first you have to get to this point. Well, no shit. That's how it ends up in court. Like I didn't think I needed to explain the rest of it. It was like, then when you're in court, she's like, oh, they interpret the law. That's exactly what they do.
That's why your laws are so vague sometimes.
And that's what I tell people.
But that's the thing. That's when you create new scenarios. That's when you have the opportunity to say, okay, now it's Levine versus Johnson, And
Mhm.
those cases are gone through thoroughly. And you have to prove to the court system why what's being offered is bullshit and how it doesn't apply. Right. And that's when you fight the courts. So when she was like, "Oh, you got to do this for," it was like, no, I get that, Tammy. Like, I understand the concept of how this works. And I understand that if I saw a courtroom based on decisions that I was making, that I would have to be prepared for this. But I wouldn't be doing the action or the activity if I didn't think I had some kind of fight on my hands to roll with in the first place. You know what I mean? I'm not just telling people just don't comply. There's things that I think you should comply to. And that's why Tammy was looking for like an educated list of things that I was, trying to say what you should and what you shouldn't comply to. Well, that's
Well, but
easy.
y'all were arguing
It's
last night on our show or something?
well, I wasn't
No,
arguing. It just,
it
she
was a
was
good civil discussion.
right. But not that I was on panel, but
Okay.
she was taking forever to catch up to the comments. So it was like she would say something, then I would have to like go back on it. But the point was like, I believe there are things that you should aspire to be as any drone pilot, and that's a common sense flyer. I think if the majority of people just flew with common sense, you wouldn't have to worry about the rules and regulations and stuff, right? To a certain point. I do believe we should have a height elevation restriction. That's common sense, though. You don't want to be flying up where actual aircraft is. Like, it makes total sense. Oh, yeah, stay this far away from an airport. Hey, that makes total sense. I'm totally for it. But when I have to purchase a module as an FPV flyer for ground-based stuff out in the middle of the wilderness where I'm not even around people, makes zero sense to me. This is one of those things where I'm like, I'm probably not going to comply with that because it literally has nothing to do with what I'm doing. The odds of a sheriff or a FAA inspector coming and rolling through an area that I'm going to be flying at is like zilch. So I'm not concerned with those things, right? But if you're an FPV flyer who does this as a business, who is going to be flying around people and valuable property, then yeah, maybe there should be some stuff in play for that, But
And the
I
one
can't.
part,
Go ahead.
Dan, one part, not to cut you off, but the one part people fail to understand when you talk about laws, rules, regulations, they're written for the masses, not for individual situations. So
Right.
something like you said doesn't make sense to be out in the middle of nowhere. It is very impractical. Something's going to happen,
Exactly.
but everybody doesn't fly there.
And
So
I
that's what I'm
understand that.
saying. And that's what people don't want to grasp is the fact that, okay, these rules are made or sound this way because it has to cover the massive amount of people who are flying.
Agreed.
And that's
But
one of the point people don't understand. They say, well, I live out here in no man's land and nobody around. I said, dude, but everybody doesn't live where you live,
right.
type of area. So the rules is written this way to make a blanket cover. So no matter where you fly, it's within a regulation or safety type atmosphere.
So essentially what I'm saying when I say don't comply is don't comply to the things that don't make sense to you that aren't going to affect your world, right? If you know you're out in no man's land and there's never an opportunity where anybody's ever going to mess with you, then the odds of your compliance needing to be any factor that's involvement with the government is like zilch, right? They're not worried about some dude flying over his potato field.
Right.
It's just you're not on their radar. You're not even on their spectrum in the slightest. So it really comes
The views
down
of Dan do not necessarily reflect those of the rest of people.
just saying, man. It's common sense. Like if everybody just flew with common sense and made decisions based
That
on
was just a
common
message
sense.
to the FAA.
Gotcha.
And Dan, that part you and I agree upon, but you and I both know there are always those certain percentagers out there who do the dumb stuff, who make it hard for the common sense folks.
DJI made it easier for that to happen too, man. Now anybody that has zero knowledge of anything can just pick up a product and fly whenever they want to in an advanced mode. Crazy, bro. Crazy.
Yeah.
I never wanted the hobby to be like this. I wanted it to stay complicated so the people that actually had to learn things would learn all of it. Not just push a few buttons, activate a few modes, and watch a video, and now, hey, you can fly acro. Good luck. Don't kill somebody.
Yeah, that's
Cheers.
how Justin got involved.
That's exactly how Justin took out the light pole, and he flew it with a GPS drone. I don't even understand how that's possible.
I still don't understand that.
Your flight lasted 2 seconds, bro.
And he talks about my flight.
Crazy, dude.
Well, the big news last night on Tammy's was when she played Mudball video, She got demonetized.
Demonetized. Yeah.
That's jacked up, Don. You sent a strike on Tammy? How
Did
dare
she
you,
for the
sir?
music?
No, they said
No,
you
it was
sent
for the content.
that comes from you.
He has to go on his YouTube pseudo and approve it then, because all
Yeah,
his YouTube is.
No, I'm joking. I'm joking, but you
I was
needed
gonna say,
to see
well,
what was
YouTube
on there last night.
sometimes.
I just say
Yeah,
that was YouTube friendly music.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is sometimes YouTube can pick up you showing another channel's video as you trying to steal it, even though the creator doesn't give a shit. And
He was
that's
soliciting
happened
money
before.
for arms for fisheye.
Oh yeah.
That was a nasty video.
Oh man.
Oh gosh.
But only 40,
Inappropriate.
only
It's needed.
44,000.
But
Now
it was funny
correct
as
me
shit.
if I'm wrong, Dad. Isn't Rigger from Canada?
Oh, I have no idea. I want to say
Yeah,
yes
he
to that.
lives,
It seems familiar to me that would be a yes answer.
Yeah,
He lives right. He
Up in the
lives
Northwest.
actually, yeah, right above where
Well-
Washington, Oregon, all that. He lives
Yeah,
right above
lives
that.
that's
on the other side of the border.
yeah, that's what makes it more hilarious when I have in the two there was two people. I knew one was from Cannabis Shore. I wasn't sure where he was at, making the biggest statements about what the rights are, and you don't even live in this country.
Live here. That's Dre, I'm going to be honest with you. I'm getting sick and tired of that too, man. These people that don't live in our country speculating and telling us what we should be doing, bro. I can't. It doesn't make sense. I like
Corey?
Bruce. Bruce is a great guy, but I don't think what he's doing is effectively fighting for us. I really don't. I
No.
don't think it's coming
No.
through in any kind of fashion that actually makes sense.
No,
Right.
and I think Bruce and Mikey, when they get together, I think it just encourages Mikey to continue.
Well, him and Bot
Yeah.
too, man. I like Bot as a pilot.
Yeah, Bot
Bot
Rider,
also
yeah.
makes some fucking really dumb decisions as well, man. This whole gorilla whooping. This needs to stop, dude. I really wish you would stop emphasizing gorilla whooping as being a positive.
Mhm. Well, like I said, Bruce and I went head to head
Hello.
when Remote ID
Hey,
David.
was coming out, and he sent all his little minions after me. And like I said, I just went to the court cases and said, okay, you say it's a violation of your Fourth Amendment right. Let's go look at that, because we have a court case on that. You think the airspace above your house belongs to you? Let's go back to 1941 and we'll look at that court case and see what the justice said about that. Let's go to this. I just nailed them, dude. 4 videos I did on those topics when Remote ID was coming out. And I said, they're probably the biggest videos I've done to date and stuff, all because of Bruce was trying to send all his little minions after me. And I dealt with all their complaints.
Wow.
So
I'm choosing not to speculate on Mikey or any of that stuff because I've tried to be friends with Mikey now, regardless of how I felt a while ago. I'm trying to, because mentally I think he needs people in his corner, even if he's choosing to not comply or fight it or whatever the deal is.
Well, I mean, from his last video,
he is.
Yeah, he seems to be a very
look at the
FAA
day
advocate now.
at the day he dropped it, gentlemen.
Yeah.
April 1st.
Yeah, I know. Like I said,
I didn't even think about
Dan,
that.
I try to get people face value. If you tell me this, I'm gonna try to at least give you that face value of what you tell me. But like I said, your actions are gonna be the truth teller of what anything that goes forward.
He knows that in 2019, I told him I didn't want to associate with him. I made it clear. I reached out to him. I was like, I don't want to associate with you based on the way you're flying. And he was convinced that he was correct. Now, like I said, I don't want to go too much in on Mikey because honestly, I'm trying to put all that behind me and I'm trying to actually be in his corner slightly within reason. I mean, there's still things that need to be justified on his actions, and he knows that, but I don't want to sit here and badmouth the dude in any kind of way either, just because like it's time for him to come to some conclusions for himself, and make better decisions that should have been made in the first place. That's really the realisticness of it.
I've said 100 times that Mikey's got a personality that is like 100%. And if he would play by at least some sort of common sense and play by just don't fight a fight you're not going to win.
Right.
And
but Bruce amps him up on that, dude.
Mm-hmm. But
Bruce
his personality, he could have $1 million channel.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, he's also sitting in the safety of another country too. It's all about clicks.
And that's what cracks me up when Bruce said about, well, I sent a message to the FAA to send me the date. I said, why is the FAA
they don't owe you
responding?
anything?
I said, why are they saying you something? You New Zealand.
They don't
I
owe
said,
you
who are
nothing,
you?
bro.
I said, they don't need to comply with anything you do. I say, you don't vote, you don't own no property, you don't pay no taxes here. Who are you to demand the FAA to send you data on anything?
Well, it's just amusing to me that all these larger influencers think they can use that power and influence to convince a bunch of people of non-compliance across the entire board. Like,
Yeah.
just that's craziness to me. You guys are never going to get that effectively pushed, and it just makes you look dumb, to be honest. I'm not
Yep.
trying to be a dick, but there's nothing realistic about what you're pushing. So when Bruce makes those little sad sorry videos where it's like, oh, I'm so sad the community doesn't want to do this. I realize there's 115 people that watched it and liked it. Like, oh, what'd you think you were gonna do, man? Change the world? Come on, bro.
No, I try. My thing is this, Dan. I even go to his show with Gary and other guys from Europe, and they never want to let me come on.
Yeah.
I said, hey, put me on, dude. No, won't send me a link to come on. I said, if you're gonna have a debate, let's have a clear and simple debate on the subject, not just one-sided nonsense. You know, let's debate it.
Right.
You know, because you can't debate somebody who's on a panel from the chat, because the chat only limits you to so many characters. You can
And
type.
that's why I didn't jump in with Tammy too much, because it was like, this
Yeah.
is pointless. I can't get that far with all this unless I'm on the panel.
Right. So that's why I say, that just lets me know, where certain people are at. Like you said, sometimes you just got to disengage and let them roll on wherever they're going, and leave it at that. Just like I don't understand why Mark is wearing that New York Yankee cap on his head. I'm like, what the hell's going on
It's
here?
cold.
Just trying to protect the noggin.
That's what a grenade is for.
Yeah. That's where I conceal my gun.
Yeah.
Got my
Well, Dre,
grenade
I
right
think
back there.
I think, Dre, this is my final year in this hobby. I'm just tired. I'm tired. I've watched the birth from birth. I've watched the birth of all of this. I've been part of it to this point here, and just watching this I don't know, man. It's like an undisciplined child at this point is what I'm watching unfold. It's like,
you know what? You took the words out of my mouth, because like I said, you've been around since day one. And like I say, now you're dealing with people who've only been here since yesterday.
I know.
And that's the problem. You have so many new people who are just now coming out, and they've learned from people like you and Coast to Coast, who started live streams years and years ago. And they say, hey, I can do this quicker and easier. I've seen all the do's and don'ts, and all the technology is boosted up. Like you say, it makes it easier to do it. So let me go ahead and do my little shtick and go from here. And like you said, they don't have the real historical knowledge of where the sports come from. That's why I had to put that thing on Tammy Jean about, yes, RC planes have been regulated for a long time.
Yeah.
Just because you just got on board a couple years back and you didn't do no homework to read up on what the thing's been going on, you think this has all happened in the last 3 or 4 years. I said, no.
Let's do this. Joe, how long have you been flying?
2 years.
Okay. Mark, how long have you been flying?
Just a little over 2 years, maybe two and a half.
Paul, how long have you been flying?
1988.
Dre?
6 years drones. Yep.
Lance?
Oh, well, drones, yeah. But I started flying control lines back in the 80s.
Okay. Well, we're going to check this something real fast. Lance?
I think he's not there.
Okay. Gentlemen, what is VRS? Dre, don't answer. Don, you're part of this. How long you been flying drones?
Since the Phantom, I think it's the year the Phantom 2 came out, but I was flying Phantom 1.
What is VRS? Nobody Google it.
Is that a worldwide thing, or is it just American?
Worldwide. If you know anything about multi-rotor, VRS played a big role in the upcoming of drones, and they still do today, depending on how. Well, we'll get into that in a second. Dre, I know that you're ready to unload that answer, so go for it.
I'm drawing a blank on it.
Dan, it escapes my mind at the moment. I've heard the term or the company before.
I've heard it too.
But I cannot recall.
The acronym is escaping me. What is it?
So in the helicopter world, it would be known as settling the power. In the drone world, you guys would know it as VRS or vortex ring state, right? This is something that you would have learned
Yep.
really early on as a drone pilot because it plagued multi-rotors. And this is things that people don't realize today still affect multi-rotors. And when these things happen, because they weren't on that original bandwagon of understanding flight characteristics, they just got a product now that just flies great. They don't know what to do when a scenario like that arises. Does anybody know how to get out of vortex ring state if it happens to a multi-rotor?
Nope.
Nope.
No.
What is it? You haven't described what it is yet.
You climb, don't you?
Vortex ring
Well-
state is basically when you're hovering or coming down too fast, you end up falling into turbulated air that the prop has already churned, causing an instability in the craft, and it starts to free fall.
Right.
There's only
You-
one
you
way
pow-
to
you
get
power
out of
say
that.
throttle
don't
down.
you?
Power up and go up.
Wrong.
I'd say throttle down.
Wrong. There is only one way to get out of it.
All through it.
If this ever happens to your drone, it just starts randomly free falling. Push forward, give it any directional path.
Right.
No
To
throttle.
get out
Just
of the vortex.
Oh,
Yeah,
get out
give
of
it,
the
you got to
vortex.
get out of the
Yeah.
vortex.
Yep.
Right? Give it any directional path. Don't just throttle up and it's still falling.
I was going to
Throttling
say
up
that.
will
I just wanted
actually
to see if you
speed
do
it
that.
up. Right? Throttling down will also increase the rate of descent. So these are things that I feel like new pilots just don't understand because they weren't here for it. And I see it. I see it all the time with just lack of information from people, and it drives me nuts. Because they tell people like me that have been here for 12 years that I don't know what I'm talking about. You must, dude, you're an old
Now
whatever.
that kind of
They call you an
information-
old head.
That kind of information right there, I think, would be far more useful on the Part 107 test than
Yeah,
how to approach a runway.
I agree, because
I
it's not on
agree
the
with
test
that.
and that wasn't in the course.
You know, but so like I'm dealing with a world that doesn't understand me, right? That's what's happening. I'm dealing with a community of people that don't understand me because I've been here too long. I'm trying to get them to understand.
Man, I deal with the world that doesn't understand me every day. Come on.
Right? I'm
So
tired, man.
It's
East
kind of the
Coasters are-
same in the radio amateur world. All of the really older radio amateurs pass on so much knowledge.
Does anybody know what KP index is?
Flatten the bird, Haley.
Even if
Does
you've
it look
been
like
here
it's me?
Yeah, it's Keplerian, and it's to do with the sunspots.
Can we get where we're going?
Sending out
magnetic waves, yes. And do you know why
Yes.
that affects drones? Does anybody know why that's a bad thing to fly over a KP index of 3 to 4?
Yeah, because it affects the GPS signal.
Boom. That's
Yeah.
why a lot of flyaways happen because people don't check the KP index before they go out and fly. This is
Well,
something
I-
you can't
I put-
tell
I
new
put like
pilots about. They just
They
don't get
see
it.
if they use the before you fly thing, they
Mhm.
see it, but like I said, because they don't understand it, they
Right.
ignore it.
That's what I told Dre when his Phantom flew off. I was like,
Yeah,
you should
yeah,
have checked
right.
that.
Well, you're right.
You're right.
So no, I just stopped being
Yeah.
part of the community, man, because nobody wanted to learn or listen or just it was like, oh,
Yeah.
I'll just put
Well-
up flight videos and move forward.
Well,
I'm done.
Dan, you're wrong because everyone on this panel was interested in that.
That's true. This is true. But
Well,
only
like
because
I
I
said,
brought it up in that way.
those
yes.
of us here, except Justin, has a keen interest in what it is. And what
Oh, I've
things
been
are- what
flying
things
since
are
at
happening.
least 62.
Yeah, I know. 10, 15 years before your birth. Matter of fact, make that 20 something year because I'm on you and my oldest are the same age.
Mark, I'm surprised you knew that. Good for you, man. Not only did you know it, you actually had knowledge of it.
You're
And
not
how it
gonna
works.
like it.
Good for you, man.
Yeah.
And that
Comes
that
with
on
having
the
done
test.
A-level
That was on the
physics.
test. It was in the course.
And then when I see people post on Facebook, that's one of the things I asked them. I said, I asked them, what did your telemetry say when you last saw it? And then I asked them before that, I said, hey, what was the KP index when you first started flying? And most time you hear crickets.
Yeah.
Because
You don't even know what that is.
Don't know. They don't pay attention to the telemetry when they are flying. It's
Ooh.
right there in front of you. I said, well, hey,
Spread
You know,
eagle again.
if
That's the
if your
first thing
bar-
I
if
pull
you-
up right there.
Yeah. I said,
There you
if
go.
the bars on your telemetry are down to 1 or 2, that right there should tell you you need to bring your monkey ass back.
Yeah.
You know? You know,
Especially if
like,
you're
yeah.
having unstable locking. If you
Right.
keep getting GPS
Yeah.
lock signals unstable before flight, yeah, don't, dude, check your
Yeah.
KP index. Immediately check your KP index.
right, stuff
know?
like that. And it's like, and people just don't get it. I'm like, hey, no, it's best.
That's
I
And
always tell
then
folks, best to be
check
safe
for
than
any
sorry.
metal structures, and then go outside.
That's the other one, man. People don't think like when driveways are paved, what do they put underneath the driveway?
Rebar.
Rebar.
So you got metal
Rebar.
in that. Yeah. Don't
Yeah.
take off from concrete.
I can
You
say
go out to the sidewalk.
sidewalks are
That's
the only
why
thing that doesn't
you-
have any metal in it because it's such a
That's
small
why you carry a
slab.
little launch pad. I have that board.
It's
So I
like
can get
Billy
off.
Kyle.
Yeah,
Every time you
concrete-
see Billy Kyle do a video, he's taking off from the top floor of a multi-story car park. She's full of reinforcement.
Well, I can say it's one thing you don't really see Billy take off. He'll show the drone in the air. Because like I say, parking structures, I carry a bucket when I go out and fly for the city. Because I
Just
go into
lift
a
it
lot of
up.
parking structure. I carry a little Home Depot 5-gallon bucket,
Yep.
set the
Keep
drone
it
on
above it.
that, keep it above it, and take off.
Yep.
And stuff. Because
Yep,
of that,
inverse
you get
square
that
law.
magnetic
It's the
interference.
same when people take off from the roofs of their car or from the flatbed of the
Yeah.
pickup.
Mhm.
Now I know why I wrecked my Mini 2. Dan told me to put tinfoil on the drone.
Yes,
So
I did.
And never do your IMU calculation anywhere near concrete or metal.
he was like, DJI, I
But
love
the tr-
tinfoil wrapped around it. Go ahead.
Yeah, we were at the Chafunka River one day, and Johnny put his he had the Ortel, put it down on the concrete right there on the side right by the water. Man, that sucker was giving him all kind of crazy signals.
Yep.
Oh, by the way, Dan, Laura, and Jim are giving you crap about your sunglasses being inside.
But what? Don't hate on them. They're about to
Just
be
tell-
really famous. You'll see. They'll be
I
famous.
wear
soon. I'll
my
show you. They'll be famous.
Just tell him your life is so great. I got to wear shades inside.
That's it.
No, my life is so bright. I got to wear shades inside. That's what I'm like.
That's yeah. My future's so bright, bro.
You got a job waiting after your graduation? You know, 50,000 a year ain't gonna buy a lot of beer.
That's it,
Anymore.
man. Yeah, I'm thinking about becoming president of Paul Tuckett Industries. Justin, did you get that? Nobody got that? Come on.
I'll tuck it.
Paul Tuckett.
But Dan, I think like people like you and a few other folks, I think you can only take small doses of the community.
Laura.
Now. You'll get away, then you'll come back, then you'll get away, then you'll come back. And I think it gets to a point where people start to actually become, and that's why I tell people why I started the channel I have. We're going to talk about rules, regulations, all this kind of stuff. So I'm trying to educate people on different
Oh,
things.
this is much nicer inside.
I went on the first videos of the South Florida drone meter popping up. There was a guy in there, JJ Barrett, something like that. Barrett. I don't know, I think of his name. Anyways, of course, the first flight videos are totally illegal. Just full fuck it mode illegal. I was just like, oh god, this is how this thing is starting for these people already? Are you kidding me? This dude's out just blasting over cars and traffic and just like no concern for whatever's happening around him, just whatever. And then I see him later on drop a video with him and Captain Ray, and he's got a shirt that's like anti-Karen. I'm like, but the anti-Karens have every reason to be upset if you're gonna be flying like that, bro. I'm telling you right now, if you fly like that, yeah, I might even become a Karen for you. That's crazy, dude.
Laura, don't be a kiss ass. It's beneath you.
Yeah. That's all I always tease folks. Dan, I said I can't wait to get sworn in as the FAA agent.
Oh God.
Because I'm coming for you.
I think these glasses will go good with my new Ron, my new ID badge.
Lieutenant Dan.
No, Dan, you could actually contribute to this community a lot of that knowledge, and people would be really interested in it if you weren't such an asshole.
I am what the community made me over time, bro. I became this guy over the years.
No, I'm sorry. they probably just whittled away all the shit that wasn't an asshole, but the asshole was there from the beginning. You can't lie to me
You
about
know,
that.
I became the asshole when people stopped listening to reasonable information.
I'm sorry, what'd you
That's-
say?
Yes, yes, exactly.
Man, Dan, come on, you're too easy today. I'm sitting here.
Dan is tired, man. I'm
Fish
exhausted.
are biting.
So this is actually day number 4 without like food for me. So Dan is my energy levels are like I have.
That is not good.
I've never done a 4-day fast.
It's not intentional. My insides just hurt.
No?
So no.
Oh, that sucks. I've gone 3 days, and third day for me, I woke up with a ton of energy.
Have you tried pulling the butt plug out? I mean,
How's your eye
Yeah.
doing, Dan?
might be why you're backed up.
So that's a good question. It's kind of why I started wearing glasses a little bit right now. My right eye still has a slight blur factor to it. It's not like it was. My left one's completely in focus. My right one still has a weird little blur to it. It was really bad. It was double vision. I couldn't I don't know. It's slowly coming back. So I'm just going to let it do its thing. But yeah, I found the glasses take out a lot of the blur effect. It's almost like the sun is what's causing it. It's strange. So
You've not
I don't know.
detached your
Astigmatism?
retina.
What's that?
Like an
You've not got
astigmatism?
Maybe. Yeah, it might be a temporary stigmatism. I don't know.
No, stigmatism turns the eye slightly. The lens sees things at an angle.
Mhm.
It's more likely to be either a detached retina, so that the distance between the lens and the retina isn't correct for its focusing, or possibly the start of a cataract.
So Mark might be right about that, because I went to our crazy heavy metal night and my boy was putting down the jams and Dan was definitely
Oh gosh, yeah, you could have detached your retina thrashing
So,
at your age.
I might
You're
have
too old for that
thrashed
shit.
a little bit. Oh, God, but the
How,
music
how's
just
your neck?
it's a little sore. It was a little sore day
Last
after.
time I
because-
went, I mean, I was in my late 20s, and last time I went anywhere and actually headbanged, I woke up the next day, couldn't move my head. And I'm like, I've never had.
doing that again. Yeah,
It
no,
killed
my
me.
buddy
I was down for 2 days where I was just
Yeah.
walking around like a character from like a Andy Griffith show trying to sue for being rear-ended.
Yeah, there was some good head thrashing in there, man. But I was enjoying myself, and that's what counts. Even if it did cost me a little bit of an eye injury for a while, I'll be all right with that.
Me and my mates back in the 80s, we used to spend every Saturday night at a heavy metal disco.
Sometimes, dude, that song, that just the right song activates it, dude. It comes on, you're just like, oh, fuck yeah, dude. You know?
Well, if anything. Anybody remember Pogo? Just jumping up and down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what it was? The headbanging started at when Power Man 5000 dropped that night. As soon as Power Man 5000 Worlds Collide came on, I was just like, yes, this is going to be a great night. Oh, I'm going to hate myself tomorrow.
Mine started with Hot Wind and Motorhead.
There you go. I'll be right back. I got to use the restroom here.
Hey, anybody near New Jersey?
Anybody what?
Near New Jersey. I'm looking at the news break and it says earthquake rattles New Jersey, New York.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, Philly's near New Jersey.
No one cares about the.
Ron's in New Jersey, isn't he? Oh, well, he's in
Ron's-
Florida.
No one cares
He's in
about
Florida.
the concert I went to that I had banged to. No one cares about that.
Ron's in
It was
Florida.
Air
at the
Supply. It
moment,
was
but he
awesome.
lives in New Jersey.
Who?
Ron
Air
Brown.
Supply.
Oh, I thought you said
No.
Lon. I was like, no, Lon's from Michigan. Ron
No,
Brown.
Ron
I don't
Brown.
know.
He's from Margate, New Jersey.
We don't get.
But he'll be at the Florida meetup.
Yeah, but Ron's down in Florida right now.
Yeah.
Oh,
So they're starting their drone meetup video.
on my way. I forgot about it.
I guess people
don't
are
see any
arriving
yet.
now, aren't
Yeah.
Ken
I
Herron's
haven't
from
seen it
that
yet
way
anyway. I don't know
originally
where
as
he's
well.
seen it.
Ken doesn't go to that, does he?
Yeah.
Yeah, he does every once in a while. I got a picture of Steve from the UK flying the V-copter, Johnny's V-copter.
All right.
You know, Stephen?
He's Drone Seekers International.
I keep
Yeah,
missing
Steve
her.
and Terry went.
Keep missing her awake. Boom. Right on.
Yeah, Steve and Terry off Drone Seekers have gone to Florida.
Yesterday, I had a little video on that with Ken, Place It Here, was flying outside the hotel. There's Johnny's truck right there. Oh boy, his truck was loaded up.
Mike usually flies through the hotel, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I said I was aiming for 5 o'clock.
Mark, talk to the birds behind you
Oh,
in
no,
the tree.
Batch. That shouldn't be. Well,
Pigeons, wood pigeons.
Is Jody said a 4.8 magnitude.
they could probably start it at noon.
That's a little rocker there. 4.8 make you feel it.
Trey's like, hold my beer. 4.8. I'll tell you, earthquakes are some wild shit if you've never been through one, though.
Oh,
Yeah,
have you been
New
to
York,
one,
New
Jeff?
Jersey,
Oh, I've been
Pennsylvania.
through tons of earthquakes. I'm from Southern
Yeah.
California. I've been through quite a few. Yeah, it was some wild shit, dude.
Like I was at Mission when I was in Mission Viejo at Baby Depot. I'd be sitting at the desk and I'd be checking in a new mom and doing all the stuff for her, and the desk would just do this, and it stopped. And I always thought it was the air conditioners on the ceiling above kicking on, but it was little earthquakes all the time. But you'd be sitting there like this, and you had that much more movement.
Yeah,
It was little aftershocks.
my dad's house was about, I would say, maybe 500-600 yards from the railroad tracks.
Right.
And there we had a train derail once right behind my dad's house from an earthquake.
Wow.
They just
When
came
they
up
were-
there.
Yeah, when they were building the Commonwealth Stadium, which is now Manchester City's football ground, they built it over the top of a coal mine pit head. And we had about 10 or 15 tremors a day for months while they were doing that.
Not really. Yeah.
Don, what are you doing?
Oh yeah, that double-decker bridge in California when it collapsed. I know Dre remembers that.
There's a smile. Here's a smile.
Oh, Lance is back.
Has the baby,
Smile.
has the
That's what I
baby been
look
introduced to
That's
fish
the
eye
only
yet?
thing I wanted, your smiles. Only thing I wanted was a smile.
I feel like Lance is sleeping.
Hey, Don, have you
He
introduced
was there a
the
minute
baby
ago.
to fish eye yet?
Here, my buddy.
What happened? Something about
Yeah.
fisheye?
I'm just saying, has Don introduced the baby to fish eye yet?
Oh God, I hope
Oh.
not.
What you do? I have no idea. Okay. It's work.
Alrighty, guys. I'm getting out of here. I gotta go do some
I need hard batteries
photo
Later, Dan.
Hey, Dan.
shoots. Yeah, I got some photo shoots to do.
too.
Deuces.
We'll see ya.
Later.
Okay, take care, Don.
Yeah, it said Boston felt it all the way to Boston.
All the way to Boston.
It was in Lebanon, New Jersey.
Wow. Boston to Lebanon, huh?
We had one good one when I was living in California. Can't remember what the magnitude was. I'll go look it up. But the apartment complex we lived in, our bedroom and the boys' bedroom was actually on stilts over the parking lot. And I'm gonna tell you, when that thing started rattling, my wife slapped me and she said, "We have an earthquake." And I looked up, and I was doing this, and the bed, it was moving that much, and it was doing this. I was watching the whole floor move. So
Wow.
she goes, "Check on the boys." I managed to get over to where the boys were, and we were doing this, but they were doing it the opposite way. It was moving the opposite way. And when I looked over at my daughter's room with my mother-in-law that was living with us at the time, it was moving a different way.
Oh,
And
okay.
it was crazy.
Hey,
Yeah, Dusty, that bridge collapse, when I was looking it up, that was back in 89.
I'm just going to drop off. My dad's come.
See you later, Mark. Yeah, Dusty's talking about that bridge in California that collapsed back in 89. That was a double-decker bridge. And a lot of people got killed on that bridge, too. Yeah, I've been through quite a few handful of earthquakes. Yeah, they're pretty wicked. Didn't we have one
Okay,
here
that
in Florida not too long ago? Somebody said something a week or two ago about that.
Yeah, that earthquake that hit us was in 1999, and I was in Anaheim, and it was a 7.1. October 16th.
Was that the Northridge quake?
No, that was way afterwards. But it was 1999, and it was 7.1. That's how big it was. And my brother-in-law had a house up in Apple Valley, and he wasn't there. He was working, and his other one of his brothers was stationed at the house.
That was in
And
94.
he said all of the kitchen cabinets were slamming back and forth like that. Dishes were flying out. And when he went by the front door, when he opened it, it swung open, swung back, he hit him, knocked him back into the house.
The Northridge quake was 94. That one was pretty wicked.
Yeah, this was it was 2.7 miles east of Anaheim in 1999.
I actually think I think I remember that one. That was the one I think my arm was broken at the time when that earthquake happened.
Yeah, that was the largest earthquake in Anaheim since 1900.
Because that was the one. Apple Valley wasn't that far from me. That's only like a 40-minute drive from where I lived.
Yeah.
45 minutes, depending on traffic. Just go
Yeah,
down.
Ernest lived in Apple Valley, and he had a Z28 loaded, right? This was back of 99. I think it was a 99 and 98 Z28. And I was driving my Caravan, and the timing belt blew on it. So I needed a car to get back and forth because that was the only car we had on. I needed a car to get to work. And he called me up and he said, "Take a ride up here." He said, "You could have the Camaro until you get it fixed." I said, "Oh, hell yeah." When I got that Z28, let me tell you a funny part about that Z28. I get down and I'm going to work, and I used to travel through Santa Ana all the time because it was easier than getting on the interstate. So I was going through Santa Ana, and I pulled up I was going through one of the neighborhoods in Santa Ana that he cut across, and I'm cutting across, and this car pulls up, and these three girls get out the car, out of a cab, and they start walking, go to walk in, and I pull up to the stop sign right there. They all turn around, come back, wanted to talk to me in the Camaro, right? And they would look like they just come from nightclubbing somewhere, or the street, one or the other, right? So About a week later, I'm driving through there with my caravan, and same thing. They get out the car, look back at me, and she kept walking. So it wasn't me, it was the car.
Oh, Dusty, I was into skateboarding, BMX, and dirt bikes heavily. And then I also did a little bit of snowboarding when we would go up to Big Bear, because that was about an hour drive from my house. We used to go up there all the time and do some snowboarding and some getting on the sleighs and going down the side of the hills and stuff. Never was into surfing though, because I didn't live near the coast. I was a couple hours away from the ocean, so we didn't go there too much.
And that little baby girl.
Donald's got the baby again.
Yeah,
Yeah, we
I'm
heard all
thinking
the
250 for about 3 hours. I mean, not a lot of meat on it, but I'm guessing it's gonna be tender. Oh, hiccups. They're in a roasting pan.
So Justin, yesterday was National Burrito Day, right?
uh-huh.
I shouldn't have put the jalapeno salsa on it.
Where'd you get a burrito
You got
from?
a good from Justin.
Well, you don't want to know where I got it from, but I got 3 of them.
I actually like
covered it with.
Chipotle. You
Yeah,
should try
covered it with
Chipotle sometime.
jalapeno
Chipotle is
salsa.
where
Oh, Lord.
that's where you like to go, right, Justin?
Yeah, Chipotle is not bad. I mean, I actually like going to some of the taco trucks if I want to get a good burrito or some like real good tacos.
Oh, that's where I used to go in California.
Because here
truck.
there's a fucking taco truck on every corner, so it's really easy to find them. But we actually have one of the, well, I guess most highly rated taco trucks in the state. Actually, not, but maybe a 15-minute drive from my house. 10-15 minutes. They get all these awards every year from the state and all that, being one of the best like food trucks. But they're not one that like goes around everywhere. It's a food truck, but it's like permanently stationed in the spot.
Yeah.
It doesn't ever actually.
Yeah, we have
move.
one of those around here called a Taco Bell.
Taco Bell. Oh,
They
this
have these
one's
things
called.
called chalupas. They're awesome.
Oh, chalupas are good.
Yeah, I like chalupas.
That whatever they use for the tortilla, the things are fucking good.
Or the gordita. Remember the gorditas?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which I think is funny because it just means little fat girl.
But the place I'm talking about, it's actually called Tacos My Friend. But they're pretty famous around here. But I don't know, Chipotle is actually pretty good though. It's not bad. They get a lot of, everybody makes fun of them all the time online, but they actually got pretty good food. I mean, yeah, you can make anything at your house, but it's not the fun of going out to
Yep.
eat, Dusty.
A lot cheaper.
I don't know, not anymore. It ain't.
Well, you
About
got a
the
point
s-
because it depends.
It's almost about the same to eat at home as it is just to go out. It's just a convenience factor of going out. You don't have to make anything. Fucking groceries are expensive the last. Lance, I don't know if you're talking, but your box is lighting up. Keeps lighting up, but we're not hearing anything. So I don't know if your mic's not selected or screwed up or something.
Nothing.
But it's actually cheap to eat at a taco truck. Like I said, I'd go there and have lunch when I was working for the gas company, and $12 I could get 8 tacos and a 2-liter Coke.
So they were just like
was-
a buck a taco or something?
Yeah, and then whatever the tax was on it, and then it was a buck a taco, and then you would get one of those big 1-liter glass Cokes, and I think those were like $2.50. But when it was all said and done, it was only $12. So I mean, that if you go to make, and it's all freshly made right there, so it's like you can have a nice, yummy, fresh lunch, or go to
Now,
fucking
when
McDonald's.
you order tacos at a taco truck, you don't get the hard shells, do you?
No, they do the corn tortillas, but they're just cooked really quickly, so they're very soft still. They're not hard. And they usually put 2 of them on each taco because the reason why you buy 8 or 10 of them for one person, because they're little tiny bite-sized tacos. Like you can eat one of them in like one bite if you wanted. Like they're very small, so like 8 or 10 of them is about a meal for a person.
So they're not as big as a burrito that you would get like a Taco Bell or.
No, they're just like they're literally like this big, and they'll have 2 corn tortillas, and then it's just meat, onions, and cilantro. That's it. Little diced onions and cilantro. Very basic but good. And then they have their green and red sauces you can get. Well, like I said, you could go there, spend $12, get a nice fresh hot meal that tastes good, or you could spend $12 or $14 and go get a Big Mac at McDonald's, a Big Mac meal, you know. So to me, it was a lot nicer going to the taco trucks. The only thing that sucks is most of the taco trucks are closed on Monday. So if you want tacos on Monday, good luck finding a taco truck open. For some reason.
Really? What is it? A Mexican holiday is Monday? I thought.
I don't know, but for some reason, I've only ever found one taco truck, and I know where it's at, that is open on Mondays. They're open every day. But all the rest of, I don't know what it is, but they all close on Mondays. That's the one day that they're not open.
Wow.
So I don't know why they all randomly picked that day or what the reasoning behind it is. But yeah, they're always all closed on Mondays. But there's one that's right off of 17, Highway 17, which is about a 10-15 minute drive from here, and they're open on Mondays. You can go there. They got pretty good food. Oh, this is what Dusty's making at home right here. Look at this. I don't know what.
Oh, that looks good.
To be honest, I don't know what the hell that is, but it looks good. That looks like little Philly cheesesteaks. So I'm not entirely sure what's all in those, but they look pretty good.
Yeah.
Oh, it's an egg roll truck. Okay. Oh, nice. Oh,
Yeah, I can
okay.
make
So
it.
look, it's an egg roll food truck. I thought that was pictures of him making them at home. They have chicken Philly cheesesteak. Yeah, a whole bunch of them. And they're all like
Where is
egg.
that located?
I'm not entirely sure, but they're all egg roll style like stuff. That actually sounds really good. They got curry chicken, jerk barbecue, New York style corned beef, steak and taco, chicken tacos, hibachi. See, yeah, so they got a good little variety of all different types. They got pulled pork barbecue.
So that's that they come out of Miami. Is that what?
A little pricey, any two for $18. I don't know how big they are, but or how much you get with a meal, but that's not. I mean, for something like that, I would definitely pay the money because that looks good. Well, Dusty's in Florida, so I'm assuming it's somewhere near him up there. Oh, they're out of Miami. They started coming over here during the hurricane. Okay. Yeah, if I ever run across that truck, I'll stop and try some of it. It looks pretty good. I can't even finish a whole burrito from Chipotle, Dusty. I used to be able to. Now I get halfway through it and I'm just like, oh. I usually go put it in the fridge and come back to it after about 3-4 hours.
Eat your butt. Eat your Let me tell you, rabbit.
Well, I could imagine make good food like that. You're going to get lines for sure.
Nope.
Like the soup kitchen and show that Seinfeld.
No soup for you.
Yeah, you have to walk up and know exactly what you want.
And then step to the side.
Yep, and step to the side. I never was a
I've
big
never had-
Seinfeld fan, but my mom watched it all the time, so I definitely saw most of the episodes.
I watched all the
Never
episodes. I
had,
had a
never had Chipotle.
boss. It came on right after lunch rush, but I had a boss who was really cool who would let me go back and take my break right at Seinfeld came on.
Chipotle's a little expensive, but it's not bad. But it's good
Not
food
that
though.
bad.
I like it. And it pretty
I set
much
up-
you can go in there, you can either build a bowl or just have them put everything in a tortilla. It's up to you.
Yeah, because I'm
So-
looking at a burrito.
Their steak is really good. I really like their steak. And they got
Yeah,
all kinds of different beans you can choose from. Guacamole, sour cream. I mean, pretty much everything you could think of.
Yeah, I loaded it up. A chicken one loaded it up. $10.
Yeah.
That's
One-
cheaper than me making.
Oh, with all the ingredients they're using, yeah, and the time you'd have
Yeah.
to do all that, yeah. No, it's really good food. Their steak, like I said, the steak is really good. Usually Sarah gets chicken, but I always get the steak. I really like the steak there. Now, if you ain't never tried it, I'd definitely recommend giving it a shot. I like it. Their hot sauce.
Yeah, they're
is
right
really
down the
good,
street too.
Their
They're real
hot
close
sauce
to
is good. Because they got
Hiccup
green and
stuff.
red sauces and different stuff you can put
Can't
in
go
there.
to sleep, but the hiccup stuff.
And then you can also ask for, if you do the burrito, you can also ask for a double wrap, and they'll use 2 tortillas.
Yeah, I was
But
seeing
you
that.
really can't. You can try to pick up a burrito from there and
I
try
think
to
there was
eat
a burger
it.
I was
But
like, that
you're
might have
better
done.
off trying to eat it with a fork because, I mean, they're like this, Joe. They're fucking huge.
Yeah,
Because
yeah,
the
my son gets
tortillas
them
they
all the
use.
time. I just never spent the money.
Yeah, the tortillas they use are massive. No, I would definitely go in there and try it though, if you ain't had it.
I'll be right back. Fluid pill's working.
Yeah, Justin, you ever hear the Bo Burnham song about the Chipotle burrito?
No. I saw the South Park
Look it up.
episode where everybody was blowing their asses out for eating Chipotle.
No, it's he does it like a Kanye West rant. I wouldn't have got the lettuce if I knew it wouldn't fit. Wouldn't have got the.
Yeah, I've never heard of that.
Look
Well,
at
they did
look at Bo Burnham Kanye rant.
They did a whole South Park episode about Chipotle, about how you eat it and it blows your ass out, and everybody was eating it.
Mm-hmm.
They get a lot of people make fun of them a lot, but they're good food.
I think I've only had it once. Oh, eyeballs open again. Yeah.
Yeah, pizza's about the cheapest way to eat out if you go to like Little Caesars or
Yeah, they always got some kind of a special deal going.
like Little Caesars and Hungry Howie's. Hungry Howie's is really big in Florida. And they're very similar to Little Caesars. I mean, almost identical the way they operate and everything. But those are the cheapest ways to go if you want to feed a family of people. Like if you got 5, 6, 2 or 3 kids and wife and a husband, like we do, like it's a cheaper way of feeding everybody. You go in there, spend $30-$35 and you get
Earlier.
6
Did have
pizzas.
it pull it down over her eyes. Yeah.
Because like I said, otherwise I could go to Walmart and spend $40 to feed everybody by getting a meal that I now have to cook and put together. It's almost, like I said, it's almost not cheaper eating in anymore. It's about the same.
I guess as you said, we'll see you tomorrow.
Oh, CC's
Okay.
Pizza, yeah, they're all right. CC's has its place. The only thing I like about CC's is you can go up and order anything you want on your pizza.
Yeah, CC's was a
But it's cheap
staple with
pizza.
the kids. It was cheap, and just take them in there and
Yeah.
feed them. And
At RCC's, you can go up there, and I'm sure it's the same on all of them, but you go up there and you get the little paper. It has all the ingredients.
Okay, everybody, I think I'm gonna call it. We'll see all of you later today. Justin, are you going on with David this afternoon? Hey, Lance, take care. Dre, thanks for being here.
Later.
We'll see all of you again later. Bye for now.